Well, well, well. What do we have here? It's something. Vegas, what up, homie? Beef, what up? Yo, so me and Billy Lons are up to something. The story of Leroy Dean. Sometime in 2023. Vegas, you know what would blow your fucking mind
Boom. As we stepped in the room.
is, well, we'll talk about that at another time. What up, homie?
Woo.
Yo, where the fuck Nice at, man? The Jets are on a roll. We ain't heard from him once.
Jets are having the best season they had since.
Sanchez.
I wasn't going to bring him up. I was going to bring up Vinny Vici.
Really, the Sanchez first 2 years where their defense was the best in the league, and they went to
The defense, and let me tell you, every time they crumbled, it was because Chris, big number 97, Chris Jenkins, would get hurt. Every time he would get hurt, their chances, because they had two legit chances,
Yeah.
to at least make it and possibly win. Chip.
You're looking at two AFC title games in a row while defeating the Patriots to get there.
And that was there was no better scenario, because I'm thinking because they would have faced the Packers in one of them, right?
What wouldn't have been the Saints
Okay, it would have been the Saints,
and
right? Because the Colts beat them.
the Colts beat them, and who was the year before that? Oh shit, I don't even remember. It's a long time ago at this point.
So because we talking 2008, 2007.
7 was Patriots.
So did they lose in the AFC championship game to the Patriots that year?
No, they beat the Patriots in the playoffs 2 years in a row
Right.
and made it to the AFC title game.
Colts. I want to say then Pittsburgh then.
Yeah, probably Pittsburgh.
Yeah, because then they would have faced the Packers, I think, the following year. I think it would have been the Saints and the Packers.
Yeah, because that was the beginning of a run where the Patriots did not make it to the Super Bowl for about 9 straight years.
Yeah.
And then, Tom had his renaissance, which maybe he should have not played football anymore, but looks like he's not going to stop playing. He said he's fully committed. So I want to talk to you about this because everybody knows I'm the world's biggest Tom Brady fan. And I will tell you exactly the one difference from this season to any other season he has ever played. Any other season, he is all in at all times.
True.
First one there, literally. Last one to leave, literally. Watching film, working on reps. The timing is off. You could tell. Dude, he missed 11 days of camp. The timing is not... You know how precise the NFL is?
Yeah.
You can't just... This is the same thing when the Lakers had Kobe and Shaq and threw in Karl Malone and Gary Payton. And they just thought you could throw everybody together and win a chip, but the NFL timing is such an issue. We always talk about it, Kerry, when a backup quarter...
One of your teammates tries to hook up with your wife.
Yeah.
Alone.
So, we always talk about how when a backup quarterback comes in, that he gets busy with the third, fourth, and fifth receivers because he's been working with them. He understands the timing. Tom has not been at camp. He's not been at practice. He just went to Kraft's wedding and missed a Friday and a Saturday going to Kraft's wedding.
Let me tell you something. There's a whole lot to unpack there. First of all,
Why is Robert Kraft getting married during the season?
also, what happened to his other wife? She bounced on him?
She did. Nah, his one wife died. Yeah.
So
That was-
it's like, who is this assistant standing next to Robert Kraft in a wedding dress? That's weird. Did she get married?
No, that's his new wife. Yeah, his wife died probably like 7 years ago or something. It's been years.
Okay. So-
Massage parlors, young wives, and all that.
Yes, he found him one.
He got $1 billion. He got a couple billion.
I mean, obviously.
He didn't have to look very hard to find one. That's for sure.
I mean, quite sure. But also, word, like you go to a wedding here in New York, here.
Hmm.
This cat was up here,
Yeah.
chilling with Randy and everybody, the whole crew. I'm like, they going through walkthroughs down in Florida right now. What you doing up here?
So Tom's going to he's partying, he's missing time. He's obviously arguing with Giselle and having to meet with lawyers and shit, which is taking away film prep and shit like that. And also, he's not on the same diet right now.
No.
It's not possible with what he's going through and the party circuit he's been hitting lately. Like, he's retired but still trying to play football at the same time.
Right. He's using he's using them facial treatments to keep himself looking like he's staying on point. But just like even to your point before, every time he would win a chip, how long would it take him before he's back working again? Not long.
Couple days.
Couple days, right? Okay. So this time, not only did he not make the chip, but then he said he was going to retire. So you got to say, I ain't working out. So then you have whatever amount of time that was that he's not gone right back into his routine that he's done for already 20 plus years. And then he decides to come back, takes chunks off. Like, it's all discombobulated now, and it's showing. And so
You could see it on the field. Their offense looks terrible.
So now they're bringing up his age. So he is done for 40 plus men a service and then also a disservice. Because once you get off your shit, then yeah, you start morphing into your human age, not your superhuman athletic age. I'm sure he's shaved off 10 years from his physical self to still be able to play the game. But now you got to stay on top of that. So now that's all just, it don't creep back on you. It hits you quickly. And so you have Jensen's not there. The other cat retired. You got another injury, and they get him where? Right up the gut. So
Yeah, I texted you. It's a young man's league now. It's over for these old guys. They cannot carry a team, and I blame it on the organizations. Packers have always done this. The Bucks are still kind of doing it, even though we said at the beginning of the season it looks like the Bucks are going to be the injury bug team, and then the AFC was going to be the Chargers, and it is them. J.C. Jackson out for the year. He was playing terrible anyway. Who cares? But Aaron Rodgers looks terrible. There's no timing. He has no rapport. Romeo Dobbs is killing my fantasy teams, daily fantasy squads.
Like, and in this scenario where all of your receivers are young, Devontae gone. I don't give a shit. I don't play in preseason. You see what that's doing for the Broncos. Russell should have been fighting for every snap. And so should Aaron. Aaron should have been. No. I'm getting all these snaps. Jordan, you ain't playing no way. Let me get all these snaps and work with these guys. If he'd have put in that work with them, we wouldn't be seeing that. And it's even improving. Even though we saw it was terrible with the Commanders, but you saw passes that were just out of reach. So you would say another 2-3 weeks from now, they're going to start connecting on those. But you should already be connecting on those now, because you should have been working with them instead of doing ayahuasca and all witchcraft.
Yeah, Tom never missed a camp, never missed a off-season program.
Fucking mass dancer, singer, whatever. Come on.
Whenever he first went to Tampa and we were in the Roni restrictions, he was able to meet with Byron Leftwich by actually breaking into his house and claiming that he thought it was his house. Oh, yeah, I broke in. Well, legally, they could that's the only way that they could meet with each other. So he just said, fuck it, we're going to get in there.
By doing a B&E?
Yes. And then Byron Leftwich just wouldn't press charges.
That's funny.
It worked. So, Kerry, I said this. We talked about this during the Rona year. Who I expected to win titles, which is exactly who won titles in all of the major sports, are the ones who had the most experienced championship laden leadership to go through navigate these weird waters. LeBron and the Lakers won, Tom and the Bucks won. It was just veterans and veteran leadership across the major sports that
The Dodgers.
Yeah.
I won that one.
So you're looking at teams that we predicted to just because of their cohesiveness and their preparedness to handle this, especially Tom. Like, it was almost written. And LeBron, oh my God, of course they're going to win. Look what's happened to those squads since then. They all look old and tired. The Bucks look old and tired. They look terrible. They look terrible.
Their defense was supposed to be, I mean,
Well, their entire secondary is out. The second string is out, and they're down to third string secondary players, and those guys are getting torched.
it's looking bad. Plus, I mean, what a terrible time to have let Ronald Jones go. Because, say what you want about him, that guy was a home run threat. And he was getting better at catching, but he's doing what playoff Lenny can't do right now, which is break away from people.
And Mike Evans drop it. We'll get to that drop. Oh my God, I've never seen a more wide open drop in the history of the NFL.
Well, I have. His name was Jackie something. He played tight end for
Yeah.
Dallas.
Yeah, he's got to be the loneliest man in the world right now. Yeah,
And they beat the Steelers for the chip.
Nah, but Mike Evans, the guy fell down. Kerry, he fell down. He was 30 feet away from anyone.
He's just doing this. Oh,
And then what pissed me off about that is when he batted up in the air, instead of diving at the end to at least try to make the catch, he just tried to run through it and didn't even get close. I was just like, there's no effort in there. And then that whole team just deflated after that. They were like, Jesus, again.
literally said after that drop, the light went out in the team's eyes. That was the first quarter. Wasn't it like the second, third play?
Yeah, it was the second play of the game.
The light in your team's eyes go out after the second play.
Because the light of that team's eyes has not been around the team for this whole season.
Tomas Brady.
So that's why, and we talked about that. And
Can't even call him TB12 right now. He's Tomas Brady. He's a civilian impersonating a football player.
Thomas Edward Brady, he's not going to let this be the end of him, though. Especially if he's getting divorced. What else he got?
Seriously, I mean, I'll be honest. Give us something good. Like, if that's going bad, well, you know.
Now, Aaron Rodgers, on the other hand,
The football man.
Aaron Rodgers might call it quits. He just doesn't. I don't think he's as invested in football as you need to be elite.
Well, here's also the shit. You're a leader. You're the quarterback, and you're saying on Pat McAfee, well, you know, like the guys in there, they're not getting it. Well, they put in another guy. Are you working with them? Like, are you working with them?
That's what I'm saying, Kerry. These veterans aren't doing that anymore. They aren't putting in the time and the work because they got too much other shit going on.
So what you expect?
So let's get to the other old geezer, and
Matthew Ice Cream?
not in a shock, but I mean they're like what 1-6 or something, 1-5-1. So they're just turning the team over to Sam Ellinger now.
The only team you beat is the Chiefs. What?
Yeah, the NFL, dude. So, apparently they made this decision before the shoulder injury. They had already made the decision. Now, if you look at the stats, yeah, he's got big numbers, but he's throwing it 67 times a game. It's retarded what they're trying to do with Matt fucking Ryan. And he leads the league in turnovers by a mile. Kerry, 9 picks, 11 fumbles.
Also,
That's 2 a game.
and because he's also holding the rock, right? Which also begs the question: you're throwing it that many times a game. You have 2 massive tight ends who you can hit with quick slants, pop passes, whatever, up the seam. You can get the ball out of your hand a lot faster if you just take use of your tight ends who are monster.
Kerry, what do you think Brian Dable would do with that roster? See what the difference. See, this is the Colts' problem. Is Frank Wright is terrible. Griskin has put together a good team, so it's not the GM.
No.
It's the execution of the game planning is so stupid. 67 passes for Matt Ryan. You got Jonathan Taylor, Nakeem Hines, two giant tight ends. They're never on the field at the same time. What are we doing out here?
Losing.
Throwing it 67 times to Ashton Doolin and
Pierce.
yeah, Alec Pierce all of a sudden.
Sounds like a doctor on Grey's Anatomy.
That's one of Matt Ryan's guys, though. So he's getting the rock. So now you get Sam Ellinger. So let's talk about the other major quarterback controversy that is blazing through the streets of New England. It's Zappe hour, man. It's a wrap for Mac Jones. You can tell the team doesn't like him because when Zappe gets in, there is an instant response by the whole team.
True, but I will say this though. They still rock with him. He's still a captain, and also I saw the moment, I think it was Aguilar, who was like, "What are you doing? You're not going in." And he was like, "Nah, I ain't going in." And so, like, some of the players felt a way about that because they didn't know.
Well, they didn't know.
Well, what's going on? But then that begs the question, what's going on here? Because if you are going to use both quarterbacks, you tell the team normally, like, hey, guys, don't freak out. This is what's happening.
So this is a classic case of the starting quarterback getting injured, being probably 70 to 80% ready to play again. The backup played well. The crowd chanting his name, and the starter coming back too early because he wants to make everybody like, hey, I'm the guy. It happens. You have to have a massive ego to be a starting quarterback in the NFL.
It's Monday Night Football, too.
And New England has fully embraced Zappe. Like,
I see more banners for him than I do for Mac Jones.
listen, he doesn't have a huge arm. He's only like 6 foot. A lot of passes are going to get batted at the line of scrimmage. But there is an absolute spark that comes along with him being in the football game. Two touchdown drives immediately the second he gets in the game. Like, instantaneous. Now, they did cool off after that, but you could see it from the start. That was not the Patriots' night. From the jump, it was...
And I would say the reason why they did cool is because then they went to this, let's keep throwing with Zappe, when Ramondre was not having a bad game at all.
At all. And you also, Kerry, as soon as I turned it on and saw the haze and fog and the weather, I was like, oh, it's going to be an ugly game.
You should be running.
Should be running, and Zappe's only 6 foot. I can guarantee you he doesn't have the biggest hands.
Right, and the ball is slippery, and so you may think you're throwing at a higher angle, but it's coming off your hand.
So there was a fumble with Jacoby Myers, I believe. They put it was a jet sweep, and Zappe's small.
Yeah.
Right? So
when he went to hand off,
it was up here instead.
Yeah.
So this is a case of they probably never had actually worked that play with those two combination, right? So this happened to me last playoff game in high school. Went to go run a reverse. I didn't know they put the backup running back in. He did the exact same thing, and it ended up hitting me up here. And as soon as I made the turn and saw it was the backup, I literally said, oh, shit. I knew it was going to be off because we had never run that play together once, ever together. It was always the starting running back.
So you basically have to say, here, put it in my hands.
Yeah, and I was not it was too late. Fumble. It's a wrap. We lose by 1, 26-25.
Sucks.
Yeah. A bunch of what ifs in that one. So, they said your audio's a bit low.
Yep, I got you.
Yeah. So Kerry, there's the other phenomenon that happens when the backup quarterback comes in. They just play football. They don't rely on the quarterback to carry and dominate and to dictate. They just like play football because that's all the backup's going to come in and do.
Right.
So when Zappy's in, oh my God, Hunter Henry exists all of a sudden again. Look at that. Look at that. Out of nowhere, this guy's like in there. You know, and it's just like they also Tyquan Thornton is available now, so they're trying to force it to him. They're trying to like inject him into the game plan because he is blazing fast. And in his first week back, he did have 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So it was just bad from the jump. And then they could not stop Justin Fields breaking containment and breaking out. Like, Matthew Judon dominated whoever that tackle was so ridiculously that he kept blazing right past Justin Fields' back shoulder, pushing the tackle right past him, and he would just duck under it and then just break out. And if the middle backer or strong safety would now come up to try to contain Justin Fields from getting another 3rd and like 17 with his feet, then he would just flick it to a tight end or somebody. So it was ugly. I was hyped. All of Patriots Nation was hyped, and then they put Mac Jones back in, and we were all like, "Ah, shit, what are we doing with ourselves?" Kerry, we lived through it. The prime example of starting quarterback, much heralded and whatnot, getting injured, and then the backup coming in and balling, and they just stuck with him.
Yep.
And they should have just stuck with the hot hand. You can't tell your quarterbacks, we're going to use both you guys, because it's just like neither of them gets to be the leader. There is no leader at that point.
And there's no comfort.
Yeah.
Because each one is looking over their shoulder.
Oh, if I make one bad play, I might not get back in this game.
Exactly.
Like, it's just too much. It's too much. All right, so let's go around the league, some things that are happening. Yeah, Kanye's, I don't know what he's trying to accomplish right now, but all his athletes are fleeing his sports management agency, so that's going to collapse pretty soon.
Oh, he had one?
Yeah.
Didn't even know.
Yeah.
Didn't even know.
Yeah. Frank Clark suspended for 2 games by the NFL. I'm not sure. Probably drugs or something.
The blicky.
Oh.
He's too obsessed with the blicky. Like, he got caught one time in a car that had one. Then he got caught another time with another one. He's obsessed with the blicky.
He is about that life, apparently. Did you see it looked like the NFL refs after the Bucs game were getting an autograph from Mike Evans?
Apparently, he was just, because Evans went to A&M and the guy, the went to A&M, he knows the guy who's into golf, and Mark Williams wants to learn how to play golf. And
they was just explaining. It's just a weird place to do that.
Yeah.
Reach out to him. Social media, you can do it.
But also, what's he going to do? Like, dip in the shower real quick? And then, also, will he answer that DM? I mean, I get it. But he could have said, "Hey, Mike, let me holler at you real quick, because my man got golf, but we'll do this."
Yeah, or he could have just been like, "Yo, so I'm going to hit you.
Yeah.
It's me when I do that, so we'll talk about it." It just kept it moving instead of, like, having him actually write down his number and then flipping a card over and write something else on the other side. It was just like, damn.
Especially right then, right after the game, where the cameras,
after a terrible loss too, absolutely brutal fucking loss. It was a bad day for my football fandom. Bad weekend. Patriots lost in one of those games. The Bucs looked like the worst team in the NFL. They look like the worst team in the NFL right now, which is hilarious. They're still in first place.
LSU beat Ole Miss.
Yes, but WVU got blown out.
Well, I expected that.
And I picked the Seahawks to beat the Chargers because
you know what? I was going to too. I was just like, I feel like Geno was gonna do it, but I was like, no, come on, Eckler. I think Eckler. And then maybe they figured something out. Nope.
No, because Keenan Allen can't stay on the field, and then when Mike Williams got hurt, who is he going to throw to at that point? Which is what I thought about going in, because the Seahawks have Woolen, who has been balling. So if it's only Mike Williams, then he's just going to take him and limit what he does. So because Woolen's also like 6'4", so he's big too. So
we're not talking about that guy enough.
I told you, rookies are dominating right now.
Yo, and like what we said before, if you have a shutdown corner, legit, like corner who balls, your defense automatically becomes that much better.
Oh, it's every good defense has a secondary player that is dominant.
I think we just didn't look at Seattle as having a good defense, but you have to rethink that, especially now that they've truly discovered this running game. I mean, it was moving with Penny, but now it's taken off with Walker. And I knew Walker was going to get in there. I was worried about the timeshare, but you hate injuries, but for Walker, oof, this is just.
Well, that's how Penny got his shot. Was Chris Carson got hurt, and then Penny. I rode Penny, did what you did, and I grabbed Penny before anyone else and rode him into the playoffs because Henry got hurt for the year. Mm-hmm. So the Seahawks, I just knew they were going to win. The teams are in. The Chargers' wins weren't impressive at all, and the Seahawks' wins have been. And the Seahawks' defense is improving, and the offense, we'll see what's up with DK, because that's a huge blow to their team if he's not available, because then it's just like, all right, now you're condensing the field down.
And also Lockett is kind of banged up.
Lockett's banged up, and
we're talking about Goodwin,
Maurice Goodwin, and Eskridge. And then Fant and Disley, they do have two competent tight ends.
I do like Disley.
Gino's been playing really well. Really well. Their early losses were he did blow the game with a turnover, but he's also only done that twice this year. So I just know it. The Chargers, their roster is just decimated, dude. There's injuries everywhere.
There is.
And I'm looking at Justin Herbert as the next Aaron Rodgers. And that sucks. Just supremely physically gifted, and just they're never going to have put the proper thing around him. They're just going to be like, he can do it. And for some reason, I don't know, the Chargers have the worst training staff in professional sports. They are perpetually injured every single season. Their whole roster keeps getting hurt. I don't know what the fuck it is. I get it with the Bucks. They're all old. It happens. But, the Chargers keep getting hurt. Consistently.
Let me ask you this. Because I love to use this analogy. It's the Monica Brandy analogy. So if Aaron Rodgers is Monica, who mad talented, just beautiful voice, and you got Brandy, who just has way better hits and just wins all the awards, i.e. Tomas, who's gonna be Herbert's Brandy? Is it gonna be Joey Boyband, who already went to one Super Bowl already?
Yeah, but just went to one.
He just went to one, didn't win it. Is it gonna be Mahomes? Is it gonna be Josh Allen?
See, I think Josh Allen and Mahomes are doing their own thing together.
Yeah.
Right now.
They're doing their own Monica Brandy situation.
They've got their own thing because their games against each other have been completely retarded. And again,
I think I'd call them Michael Jackson and Prince.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So, with Herbert, it's got to be who's next. And it would have to be Joey Boyband, because Joey Boyband does have that hit. He made it to the Super Bowl.
He does.
It wasn't a number one hit.
Right, the Bengals are picking up some steam. Did you see? If you tell me Tyler Boyd, they almost had 3 receivers with a buck.
Well, Tyler Boyd is the best number 3 receiver in football by a mile.
Easily.
By a mile.
Hayden Hurst is getting busy.
So much their offense is doing so much that Joe Mixon has regressed stat wise because they're just and we knew this was going to happen. They're loaded. Joey Boyband is special. And he's missing an organ, people. It was going to take a while to recover. We're talking about timing. He's missing innards. So
his innards are starting to regenerate, get used to they got to reform. And they're starting to do that, and as they're reforming, he's starting to play better.
Yo, Joey Boyband better dress up as Wolverine for Halloween.
Yo, for real.
He's just coming back stronger.
Healing factor, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but of course they're on an ascension because they should be on an ascension. They're the best team in their division by far, and it looks like Lamar is trying to do too much. At the end of games, he's pushing too much and trying to prove too much, and he is blowing games. Plus, their roster is not good at all. They don't have any receivers who are any good.
This is what I was about to say. Not only is he doing that, but they're putting that on him, too. Because think about it. Harbaugh, there's times he'll ask Jackson, hey, want to go for it? And he'll be like, hell yeah, of course. But sometimes you got to be the coach, Harbaugh, and be like, nah, we got to do something else. Let me coach.
Yeah.
I say no.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's so the whole point of that is that they're not any good. The Steelers aren't any good. The Browns aren't any good. So the Bengals can easily just go on a run and take over and win that division, even though they started off terribly.
Yeah.
But we knew they were going to. They have the best receiving core in football by a mile. Chase is unstoppable. He's just catching on to. They're just now. What they're figuring out what to do now is how to get him the ball when everyone's looking at him. So they're figuring out how to get him involved, which leaves T. Higgins, your guy, one-on-one. And now Tyler Boyd is getting covered by, you would think, third-string corners, but in this part of the season, it's like fourth, fifth, and sixth stringers because everyone's fucking hurt. And he's torching them. Eating. So, yeah, they're loaded. Hurst is balling. Their offensive line is actually playing better. I'm not going to say well. He's still getting sacked.
Right.
Still getting sacked.
They're still coming together.
It would help if they had P-Ron's okay, but they need a real...
thumper.
Yeah, if they had Stevenson. Stevenson's the model of a big running back who can carry the load for some drives.
They had a Deontay Foreman who's now with Carolina. I mean, I don't understand what took Deontay so long to catch up. He was doing well in Tennessee, but you knew he wasn't going to stick there because they already got that. He was doing well with Houston, but they always wanted something different. David Johnson, they're going through who's not even in football anymore. So with them trading McCaffrey, I think Deontay Foreman actually found a home because Chuba can't be the...
Yeah, he already got hurt anyway, so Foreman's going to get all of the carries this week coming up, so that's easy.
So, yeah, you're right. If they had another cat like that in that backfield, because what would offset that, you had Giovanni Bernard, who was so shifty and could catch and all that. He could cause mismatch stuff. But since you really don't have that, because that's not Samaje's game,
you need somebody to lean on to be physical late in games to impose their will against the defense and get some pressure off of them all just coming down all the time.
But if he was more like a Maurice Jones-Drew, I'd be like, yeah. That's small, but he's not.
He's not. So they just need, the Patriots have, if you look health-wise, I mean, you would say the Browns do, but I think they're going to trade Kareem Hunt so they can get something out of him.
Even if you got that other cat, Dearness
Johnson.
Yeah, the third string for Cleveland. Yo.
So that's what I'm saying. They're going to get rid of one of those two guys, probably Hunt because he's more expensive, and just allow Chubb to do what he's doing this year, which is being the best running back in football. So the Patriots really had the best tandem active that are going to stay together because Stevenson is an absolute stud. And then now Harris, who was the starter for the first few games, now becomes the change of pace. You put him in second.
Get in the game last night?
Yeah. He's also coming off an injury. So and we played terrible last night, dude. It was awful. That was one of those games where you burn the tape. Nothing went well except for Zappy coming in, and
Judon got busy, a little something.
yeah, I tweeted because every once in a while I will go on Twitter because Pat McAfee show does give out a lot of shit on Twitter, like a lot. So that's basically.
I know you've been trying to get me in that game.
Dude, it's like every day they have like $5,000-$10,000 giveaways. Like, yeah, retweet this video.
Not to say that I couldn't use it.
Well, I mean, this dude just gives away money constantly. It's retarded.
Maybe I need to pay more attention.
Well, they also have the best sports show going right now. But anyway, I tweeted that Matthew Judon is the best defensive player in NFL, not named Micah Parsons. That dude is an absolute beast.
He's nonstop.
Game wrecker. He was
He is.
the only one getting busy. Another huge blow last night was your guy, Christian Barmore, did not play, and you could see them just gutting the Patriots on the ground.
Getting gashed.
Yeah, it was ugly, dude. It was ugly. It was.
And they found a way to get Montgomery and Herbert the ball, which I don't know how they didn't figure it out last year or the year before. I don't understand. But that's good. And now you even have Justin running.
No, but this is what we always talk about. Coaches trying to be like, all right, this is what we do. We're going to plug these players into what we do. And it's just like, no, what do we have? What are they good at so that we're good? Like,
right.
Zappy does not have a huge arm. We are not going to have a vertical game with him in there, but he does go down the field. It's just not Patrick Mahomes down the field. It's one-on-one. I'm going to give my guy a shot because I'm throwing up in the air at 50 yards. And
listen, you don't have to make a souffle just because you got a dozen or so eggs. You can make a big-ass omelet. That should be tasty as hell. You don't need to get fancy. Scramble them bitches up.
So Jets trade for Robinson with Breece Hall out, which makes sense because Etienne has completely taken over that job, and they never liked Robinson anyway. They
hated it because he came in free agent and wrecked their whole plans. They thought they were like, disgruntled Fournette, we got him, and he was like, nah, I got it. Which also was weird because they didn't have to pay him yet.
It's just weird. They just never really liked him.
They never really.
It's like the Raiders and Jacobs. They don't like him. They haven't picked up his fifth-year option.
Which is weird.
They had him play it in the Hall of Fame game.
Right. Which, well, you know what? He got busy the other day, and I'll tell you, let Jacobs go, and then he ended up going to a team like the Rams, even though this is young running back that people are talking about and everybody's trying to pick him up. Kyron something. Williams, I think. But Jacobs is a proven commodity, and he can go on a team. Don't let him get loose. Let's just say he goes to the Chiefs or something like that.
Yeah, they got their rookie running back is dope though. That Pachenko.
Yeah, no, I know. But I'm just saying, my point is, or if he goes to the Bills, I mean, because Zach Moss.
The Bills are the team in need of a bell cow more than anyone else.
Say he goes to the Bills.
I mean, they're already retarded.
Come on. Jacobs on the Bills? With what they already have? Come on now.
See, the Bills need to do something like that because that would take pressure off of Josh Allen have to be the lead running back.
Big time.
Yeah, he can do that now because he's young, but in a couple years, that's not going to work anymore. Big Ben used to shake all them off, but then they started to. It takes its toll after a while.
You cannot have your quarterback be the leading rusher on your team.
Unless you're Lamar Jackson, which he still shouldn't. Yeah, their back.
But even look at Mike Vick, right?
Their backfield pisses me off.
Mike Vick was doing shit like that until, after he got him. He was with the Eagles, and then he has Shady, and he ain't had to do that no more. He can shake loose and give you third down conversions. Yes, do that. Or if it's man coverage and you have nothing but 15 yards in front of you, yes, run, get that.
Yes,
get that.
yes.
Unless there's a wide open receiver down there, run and get that.
Yes.
But lean back and let your skilled players do the work.
Lead back and let me end this one and send you another invite, and we will get into hour 2 of Gray Matter. See you in 45 seconds. All right, we are off and running. Always good to talk about football with the homies. You could tell it's winter. This is white people shit. I don't use lotion. And everything is dry. My trackball is not catching, it's not sensing things. It's fucking weird. For this first time, am not even going to send an invite to Nice. I think he just dropped an album or is getting ready to, so I think he is very, very busy. But the Jets are winning. Come on, Nice. Talk about football. Your squad is dope. We'll see how good they are now that Breece Hall is out for the year. That makes me think young running backs. The amount of collisions with NFL-sized people when you become like that guy. You might get 20 to 30 carries in a game. That's a lot of collisions because you're going to break some tackles. So you might be getting hit 50 sometimes in a game. These young running backs keep getting hurt. I don't know if they're Breece Hall, Javonte Williams out for the year. Derrick Henry getting hurt kind of made sense. The amount of carries and wear and tear on that guy is massive. He was eventually going to get hurt. Just like when I went to college, I gained like 20 pounds. My frame could not handle the extra torque, and I literally, my freshman year of college, I did not get hurt once. I didn't miss a single rep, didn't miss a single practice, nothing. Played all special teams. My sophomore year, and then third year. And fourth year was the last year that I played. Literally could not stop getting hurt. Yo, with Breece Hall out for the year,
Hurts.
Javonte Williams out for the year.
Hurts.
These are young running backs who are now they come into the NFL and are expected to carry 20, 25 touches, probably 5 catches or at least targets. You're looking at 25 to 30 carries, touches a game.
You got to come in being Marshall Faulk.
Yeah, carries too. In college, running backs don't even do that anymore in college. They're physically not prepared to get 30 touches a game because the running backs who are good enough to make it to the NFL in high school are getting 20 touches and they're not getting hit on half of those. These guys are having like 300 yards a game and like 8 touchdowns. It's
you can have 170 yards on 10 carries and 3 touchdowns. Also, you're dealing with, even you have a game like that, and then your backup had eight for 90 plus, and then the third string had 7 for 70 plus. So they're coming from committees. Look, even at Michigan, who fucking ran it all over 2 weeks ago, that both running backs had 150 plus.
That's just the approach now.
You know what I mean? So you coming into the league, no one is bell cowing it anymore at the running back spot. Like, and you're expected to catch because they're just not running it. They're
Well,
not as dedicated to the run like that. So they're looking. Look at all the running plays that start in shotgun. Back in the days, you went shotgun for an obvious passing down, or like uh, you're doing like you're handing it off, or you're doing a screen.
so
But now you're handing it off in shotgun all the time now.
Nick Saban, post game of the Tennessee loss, said that Tennessee went into the eye and no one on his defense knew what to do. They had never seen it before.
How have you never seen the I fucking formation? It's
Because
beyond me.
Pee Wee football was running RPOs and shit, dude.
That's what I'm saying. There was like full house backfield. Wing T would destroy the league right now. You wouldn't. I mean, basically, a hybrid of what the Ravens do. But that, yeah, it's incredible.
It's
Incredible.
it's so different. It is nuts. But that is the league that we're in. So you got Derrick Henry. You always have to have a backup to give him, and in case the injury happens, because with that many touches, you're going to get injured in some way. The Browns honestly should allow Chubb to get 30 touches a game instead of 15.
At least 20 to 25.
Yeah, just let him work, and then you don't need Kareem Hunt anymore. He's become obsolete, so you let him go. Let him go to Buffalo because he's good out of the backfield with his hands, so that would work in that offense.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, it's just
He loves hot wings too,
yeah.
especially after a good sesh.
Yeah, it's just the NFL is so different now. It's so different. It evolved so quickly to what it is because we've been talking about it. I've never seen when rookie corners come in and are the best corners in football. When has this ever happened?
You may only say Dion. And even then, Darrell Green was still in the league. Like, you still had, like, ballers still in the league. So, like, Dion entered the top 5 rather quickly, but you didn't come into the league dominating at corner. You didn't come into the league dominating at receiver. It took normally 3 years. The only position you could come into the league and possibly make an impact was running back or maybe, like, linebacker, perhaps.
Offensive line.
Offensive line, absolutely. But if you were like just an outstanding linebacker, yeah, make plays. But running back was probably the
all the other
position
all
you
the
could get in and make an impact.
Yeah, all the other
It took years.
the thinking positions, not the reaction positions, took years. And now they're coming in and dominating from day one. I've never seen corners all young be the best corners in football.
Crazy.
And it's not saying that the quality of corner play is down because it is actually through the roof right now. We just talked about it. If you have a shutdown corner, it fucks up the entire offensive game plan. Patrick Surtain Jr. literally dominates the defense by himself. Allows the rest of the defense to do whatever the fuck they want to do. It is retarded. Sauce Gardner,
Look at what
stud.
Sauce is doing. Come on.
Stud. John Jackson, is that his name? Something like that. In New England. Jack Johnson.
Oh, Jack Johnson. Okay.
Stud rookie. Absolute
Great name too.
beast. So I told you, the Patriots absolutely hit a home run with their draft picks because Cole Strange is balling out.
Let's not forget about Stingley in Houston getting busy.
Yeah, it's all young corners, and Asante Samuel Jr. is a beast. You know, there's not too many older corners that are dominating. Only the Eagles.
Who should move to safety? Like, I'm looking at you, Pat Peterson.
Only the Eagles.
Got vets. Yeah, they got
Those two vets are playing at their absolute peak. The rest of the league is all young. Everyone else has already went over their peak because
even like Jeff Okuda on the Lions. Like, his name gets lost in the shuffle, but he's more like a Darius Slade.
Woolen
It's good. Yeah, out of Seattle.
Yeah,
Like, I
Woolen.
didn't even know about this kid.
He played wide receiver and switched over in college and went to like a nowhere, like Southwest Missouri State or something.
Look at that. See there? You can make it to the league, especially these days with you got tape everywhere. You could go any place and make it to the league. It's just you want to go to these places because you feel maybe you have a better shot, higher exposure. You could play anywhere.
Well, the way it used to work was like you had to be seen by a scout, which means you had to be worthy of being seen because there are only so many of them. They can only be so many places at once, so many games, and so much tape they can watch and things like that. So, but now everyone is visible because you can go on Max Preps or you can go to whichever website and watch any highlight from any game on anyone.
That's why I watch high school. So I know this is why I'm like certain players. I'm like, oh yeah, lead. I see it. I saw with Coolio Jones. Saw him when he was at Foley High School.
Adrian Peterson, like, come on, that guy looked like an NFL running back when he was 14.
You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing these guys play. I saw the linebacker on the Jets now, 57. He used to play with Baltimore's Mosley. Saw DJ Mosley in high school. Then he went to Alabama. Landon Collins, the same. I'm like, oh, you could track which players are going to end up making it. But I want to go back to your running back point. There's only really 3 running backs in the league right now that even get 3-down action. That's Austin Eckler, Saquon, and CMC, which is now as a 49er. So, and we know he went all pro in both running back and receiver in the same year, which is bananas. We won't see that shit again. But yeah. So we got those 3. So you're talking about everybody else, and we don't know how they're going to use CMC in 49ers. Like,
they already said 20 touches a game feature. They just wanted to work it in.
They want to work. Yeah, I was going to say you can't get a guy like him and then.
That's why I said Debo's numbers are about to dip.
Yeah. You just have to. And then and Eckler, I mean, like, so really we're looking at Saquon and Eckler really, like, because we look at their backups. Breida for Saquon and then
Kelly.
Maybe Kelly, yeah. So we know who's going to get the rock on those 2 teams. But really, that's really it. Everything else is a committee. And I also want to bring this point up, too. I was thinking about fantasy. And, like, I actually had a decent week. Ills got me because of Ramon. If Ramondre didn't score that touchdown, he wouldn't have got me, bastard. But I was killing it and everything else. And I realized I needed to switch my strategy. Now, I have a strategy and plan that even if I struggle in the beginning, I can make some moves and I'll be competitive in the end because I've drafted well.
All right, Aaron Rodgers.
No. Don't say loss because the feng shui in here will fuck out of here. Anyway, but I'm seeing that there's certain positions that only have like 2-3 players tops that are right there. And if you don't get them, you got to forget about those positions until the end. One main one is
tight end.
We already knew. Kelsey and Andrews, if your name is not Kelsey or Andrews,
dude,
it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, but Njoku starts getting busy, and I pick him up off the waiver wire, and now he's out for a couple games.
Let me tell you something. I got Breece Hall, right? I was going. Someone sent me a trade request for Breece Hall.
You should have done it.
For Aaron Jones and a receiver, like a good one. And I was like,
was it Pittman?
Maybe.
Because I got the same trade request for Jonathan Taylor, and I said, I will take that. And then Pittman and Aaron Jones combined for like 45 points this week, and I against him, which is hilarious.
Oh, that's so funny.
And
so he's shopping that deal, and I'm like, fuck, I didn't take it. I wish I did.
Well, because there's a chat thing in the fantasy league.
There is. I can't get on that. This is too much. It would be a time suck. I don't have time like that.
And
I shut it off. I was like, I can't.
I would just like just kind of bullshit and was just like, yo, anybody want Jonathan Taylor? Because he's just been on the bottom of my bench the entire fucking season. And I started getting trade offers. And then when I was just like, Aaron Jones, I was like, it's about to get cold in Green Bay. They're not playing very well. They're probably going to switch up their philosophy and actually run the ball now and get the ball to Aaron Jones like 20 times a game. And they did.
Like, whoever you are, you're probably just going to want to keep. I'm going to give you this free piece of advice. Just go ahead and keep Jones and Pittman, because if I'd have had him, I would have made sure that I would have tried to destroy you every single time. And you wouldn't have had Brees. You would have been out in the cold. I would say stand pat. That is free fantasy advice. Whether you take it or not, it's on you. Because I was like, there's no way I'm giving up Brees because this guy is going to be Offensive Rookie of the Year. I'm not going to do that.
Well, I had Javonte Williams and so my NFL running backfield was, I told you I went with I'm going to load up on receivers and then just get these two running. I'm going to target Pierce and Javonte Williams in like the 5th and 6th round.
I knew I wanted Pierce, you son of a bitch.
And then Williams got hurt, and it's just like, oh, here we fucking go. And then I've been just jumping back and forth between whichever Ravens running back that they use, because every week it's a different one. Thanks, guys. And
Gus Edwards is back, y'all. Just in case you didn't know.
I mean, Kenyon Drake had like 160 yards and 2 touchdowns last week. Let's just not use him at all.
Let me tell you something. They straight up think of any sort of cop show you have, and that is the Ravens lineup. Kenyon Drake, Justice Hill, Gus Edwards. They're all packing, and they're all solving crimes in Baltimore. You know that's what they have. They got a squad, but like you don't know whose episode it's gonna be. Who's gonna be the lead in the episode from week to week?
Captain Harbaugh.
Because even J.K. Dobbins is down, recovering from gunshot wounds. I mean, don't know.
J.K. Dobbins sounds like the female cop.
Who's in love with one of them. But you're my partner. We can't do this.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I can't figure out who's going to... Yeah, we'll run over the fantasy real quick because it only takes a few minutes. So, yeah, I'm dominating right now. 6-1. Running out in front. Everyone else is, 4-3 and whatnot.
Pretty much looks like the league itself.
Well, in my NFL fantasy one, what's funny? 12 teams, 10 of us are 4-3.
That's crazy.
One's 3-4, and one's 1-6.
I think I'm 3-4 in my NFL joint.
So
I smashed this week.
So technically, I am still tied for first.
Oh, and let me bring this up. So everybody thought I was bugging. Not everybody. A lot of people thought, like, damn, you grabbing DeAndre Hopkins high. Yep. You right.
No, that was the easy.
And in every league I was able to get him, he was my different. I was just sitting on him.
Yeah.
Sitting, waiting.
No, that was.
So now that has changed. This week, this has been my best fantasy week since, like, maybe week 1.
So, yeah, you did take another L. You are in 8th place technically, but we're not haven't even hit the halfway point yet.
Long season.
Yeah, Buck started out 0-5, is now 2-5. So things turn because injuries happen, and it changes everything. Now bye weeks are happening, and
who drafted well, and who's playing the waiver wire game. These are my strengths, babies. So,
well, I am 6-1. Buck did beat Colton, and then Josh all in got another victory. So basically, everyone's 4-3. I have been able to sneak out in front of everyone. Last week, thanks to Joey Boyband putting up 4 billion points by himself, I snuck out a win I was definitely not supposed to get because everybody was either on the bench or injured. And dude, I had a game where a starting running back and starting wide receiver combined for 2 total points, and I still won.
Yeah, I managed to win this week when who got me a donut? Gallup got me a straight donut.
Dobbs got 0.
Dobbs also got 0 for me in another spot. Straight Donut.
So yeah, we'll see. You know, we're getting into Brees Hall was a good pickup for you, but now he's hurt. But you also got Walker. So I do see your roster is loaded with running backs where
You need him for the winter. Yeah, listen, it's cuffing season.
well, I did just cuff Aaron Jones to go with Chubb for the remainder of the season, so you know it will work. Debo Samuel's been an absolute disappointment this year. Kyle Pitts has been an absolute total disappointment this year. I actually just dropped him in my NFL league when
I don't blame you. Listen, I was faced with the same decision. I was like, because him and Mariota are not they're not on the same page. Drake London and Mariota are, and
well,
I gotta look for whatever new receiver or DB or converted punter becomes their new running back, because that situation back there is crazy.
at tight end, so the Texans have honed in on using Akins
So he's the one.
as their tight end. So if you're doing daily fantasy, he's ultra cheap, like the cheapest any possible offensive player is this week. He is that, and the last 3 weeks he's gone above 8. It's been like between 8 and 14 points, which this season for tight ends is balling because even Andrews is injured right now. He only put up like 2 points last week because he didn't even have a catch. Like he's hurt. Kelsey's still going to be Kelsey. He's unstoppable. Other than that, it's just a rotation. I look at Carolina, Tommy Tremble. Now that
PJ Walker's in there.
PJ Walker
Yeah.
likes him, so he'll utilize him. Everett should be getting busy because the Chargers don't have anybody, but it's just not really working.
Well, they do like that kid Parnham because he's a monster. So he'll take a couple snaps away, but
I imagine now that
like in line, it should be Everett. Goal line, Parnham. So
I-
Parnham is going to be a touchdown dependent.
I imagine that now that Ellinger is the starting quarterback, that the Colts might use their tight ends that they have.
And also, he will be a runner. Saw him do it. Saw him defeat WVU in Austin, Texas a couple of years.
Yeah, I've already got him on one of the DraftKings daily fantasy. Was you gotta get on these free games. I cleaned up. Me and Colton cleaned up this weekend. These
Free game?
free games on DraftKings.
What happened? You can win money.
What? Dude, I'm up 300 this year. And I've taken some. I've gotten battered. It's been a bad year, and I'm still up 300.
Okay.
So
We'll figure this out. We'll powwow offline.
they have 2 different forms for free games on DraftKings. So one is they'll have like 10 daily fantasies on Sunday. All of them free. They're all sponsored. Kentucky Fried Chicken, Monster, and like whatever, but all free. And then they have polls that are usually questions, and it's like Sunday's poll is game winners, or they'll have like performance polls or something like that. I'm up 300 this year, yo.
Like such and such will get 2 touchdowns today.
Yeah, one of the questions would be like, who's going to have more passing yards on Sunday, and I'll have like 4. And this week on the biggest Sunday pool, I hit 18 out of 20. Yeah, it was all game picks against the spread, dude. I cleaned up this. You saw the game picks for everybody in the 3-3-3. Everybody was like killing it this week. But so the games that I've missed in the gray matter when on the DraftKings one was against the spread, and I actually got them all right. So Tampa and the Patriots were the only ones that I got wrong. So it was 18 out of 20. I won like 90 this weekend. I just take that and then just do ridiculous anytime touchdown parlay bets with the money that I get, because those are like $30,000 hits. 13 out of 15 legs 2 weeks in a row, I'm gonna get one of these. Now it was a good week, and then honestly, FanDuel has a bunch of free pulls also, and I'm up like 200 on that one too. Just every Sunday morning, I get up and just the daily fantasy, because it's hilarious. You can bet 5 cents, draft a fantasy team, and then win like $5,000. Are you kidding me? That's hilarious. It's 5 cents. And if you're not on DraftKings anyway, dude, whenever you sign up, they're going to give you like $200 or $500 for free to bet with. So you just start getting busy. It's hilarious, dude. Colton's in on it now. He told me he hit on almost all his game picks this week too.
Yeah, Colton been paying attention.
Yeah, but
he's a little pest.
Yeah, but you see who is starting to.
I see.
Getting into form. I'm starting to get into form.
I'll say this. College.
Yeah, you're killing me.
I'm wrecking shop.
I took some swings this weekend to try to make up a gap, and it went the other way. So this week, I literally just picked all of the favorites.
Just to see what would happen.
Whatever. I don't know college football, dude. I don't.
See, I mean, and like I had fallen off, but then I don't know. It's like programs, coaches, and then just if I just identify, I just need to identify 2 to 3 players on that team.
Yeah, I don't know shit. I don't know. But I did see an interesting college anecdote, and I love this one because it shows you for a stretch of time how dominant this group of skill players was. So the 3 fastest wide receivers to, I don't know what, it's 10,000 yards or whatever, 20,000 yards, whatever it is that Justin Jefferson just hit. The 3 fastest, Odell. No,
All from LSU.
Chase just hit, I mean.
All from LSU.
Odell, Justin Jefferson, and Chase. And I'm just like, I saw that, I was just like, yo, they had like a 6-year run of like the best receivers ever. Jarvis Landry also thrown in there.
I was saying, who also had 1,000-yard season with Odell. Like, that's why the draft is such a. I love the draft because I know, like, I've seen a lot of these players, and I'm like, oh, I've seen this cat since high school. And I've been keeping up with them because I was like, oh, they're gonna be something. Sometimes it doesn't always translate. Because, like that kid, Robert Mdici, like he was a monster in high school, got busy in college, flamed out in the league. So, you know, the Clowney, he's still in the league.
You know what, Kerry? I know that sometimes a player will develop physically and mentally to the style that the NFL is and become a player, but typically if somebody is that dominant in high school and then when they get to college they aren't as dominant, they still get busy. You should know that when they take the next step up that they're also going to take a step back in performance because they peaked way back then.
Yeah,
and
I done played against a few of them. I can say I'm trying to think of like who I played against that actually like studded out in the league. I played against players who've made it to the league, and I've been on teams with players who've made it to the league. So I would say the players I've been on teams with who made it to the league actually got busier than anyone who I really faced. I faced some guys who were like, oh shit, this guy's a monster. But
the only one that I can say is Eddie Drummond, and that was in high school because from his first game as a freshman, you're like, oh wow, he's way faster than everyone else we've ever seen, and he just kept getting better. And then when he went to Penn State, he dominated there too, and when he got to the league and found his little pocket was all pro.
Yep.
So you could see Joey Galloway was also from the area, and you saw him just absolutely dominate in high school and then go to Ohio State and just dominate and then go to the league. You saw it. Like I said, you have to, even when you step up, you still have to be better than everybody because they've all been working too, but you should still be better. And with players like that, they don't get better. You know, it's weird. All right, so this last week, retarded football again, kinda. But we're starting to understand the retarded football nature. Everybody basically in double digits this week. It was kind of a lot of these were predictable. Like I'm telling you, the Seahawks went over. That was the easy one. That was like.
I know. I just second guessed.
The Cards over the Cards winning. D-Hop coming back. Of course, they were going to get a boost. Yeah. So that's really all there is to talk about. There is. D-Hop's back. He got 13 targets in week 1. He's going to get like 23 next week. He is a difference maker.
Yeah. Mind you, on a team that still has AJ Green. So you
Who
see
hasn't even
how
seen the
far
field.
he has fallen off.
Haven't even seen the field because they got Rondell Moore.
Rondell Moore.
We're getting
Yeah, Rondell Moore is keeping AJ Green off the field. Think about that for a second. Christian Kirk, who they got rid of, is getting busy in Jacksonville. Way busier than AJ Green, who was on a Hall of Fame track.
They also got what is it, Goodwin?
Who?
The Cardinals, Marquise Goodwin.
No, he's on Seattle.
It's the other. It's something like Goodwin. They got him also because he's been getting busy as like their main touchdown threat while Hopkins been out. They scored like 3 touchdowns.
I know who you're talking about. It's not Goodwin though. Because I thought about picking him up.
Oh, Hollywood. Is it Hollywood Brown?
Hollywood Brown.
Yeah, Hollywood Brown. Yeah.
He got hurt.
Yeah. So that's, that's why they went out and got Robbie Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Cardinals over the Saints. This is was predictable because of the boost, and the Saints just aren't that good. There's a lot of things that you would typically think about historically. You have to go outside of the historical lens of football this year because traditionally the Saints defense is good. Traditionally, the Ravens defense is good. These defenses fucking suck right now.
And also a key loss for them is the triple name cat who went to Philadelphia Eagles and is getting busy for them now. Their slot corner. I forget his name.
Yeah, he's getting busy.
He was always starting fights with somebody when he was with the Saints. That guy.
See, that a guy like that is such a vital piece to the overall secondary working. You see how well he fits in Philly because they have 2 number 1 corners who can just man up somebody. So now he can just go and literally cover the slot.
And now he's just getting interceptions, fumble. You know what his role is right now? Rondé Barber.
Yeah.
Perfect for him. Like with a defense like that, your slot corner should eat all of the interceptions and fumbles. Eat.
Yeah, D-Hop's going to get busy for the rest of this season. The Cardinals will probably go at a little... They'll improve. I don't know if I'll call it a run, but they'll improve. We'll have to see what their schedule's like. Bengals over the Falcons is easy. The Bengals are surging right now, like surging.
Yeah.
Their defense is playing well enough. Offensive line is improved. We talk about that. Their skill players, retarded. So good. Joey Boyband, forget about it. This guy is he's the epitome of an NFL quarterback. Justin Herbert is the epitome of the physical form of an NFL quarterback.
Right. He's the prototypical.
Joey Boyband is the prototypical everything else.
Yep.
Which was what Tom Brady was. He was just everything, even though Tom's like 6'5". Yeah. It's a big dude. Bengals are surging right now. They're going to continue to surge, and they're going to walk away with that division because the rest of that division fucking sucks. Cowboys over the Lions. The Cowboys just aren't that good on offense. Their defense is incredible. The Lions just suck right now. Even with Dak in there, they're not going to blow any team out. And they shouldn't. They should just run the ball, eat up the clock, and they have talent. What is it? Who's their tight end? Dalton Schultz is pretty good. CeeDee Lamb's pretty dope. Gallup is still there, isn't he?
I'm back.
Yeah, he's back. Turpin is...
Noah Brown
is
been taking snaps.
Getting busy. Turpin as a special teams weapon. They have the ultimate X factor on defense. That guy is fucking... Micah Parsons is incredible.
And they also picked up Jason Peters, former Eagle Jason Peters, who was left tackle, to replace Tyron Smith, who had got hurt. And Jason Peters has done a more than admirable job to hold that line together. So, fuck them. And they also just picked up Jonathan Hankins, former G, from the Las Vegas Raiders in the trade. So, fuck them even harder.
Yeah, they're making moves. They're going to continue to...
Yeah, they will.
They're going to continue to compete, but not with elite teams. But not with elite...
Right there.
Yeah, but not with elite teams. Like when they played the Eagles. It's just like a different class of football. Titans over the Colts. This is easy. No matter who the Colts have at quarterback, the Titans find a way to win no matter who's on the field for them. And the Colts suck.
They do.
They suck.
Also, did Caleb Fraley get back for the Titans? The cornerback from Virginia Tech who was a high pick, but then he tore his ACL last year. Is he back?
I don't know, but the headline says the Tennessee Titans are so banged up that even quarterback Ryan Tannehill now is in a something. He's hurt too.
Yeah, I saw that.
but
you get a Malik sighting. Let me tell you something.
Well,
this is a Tannehill nightmare.
Well, with the Titans against a bad team, Mike Vrabel will outcoach a bad team, even if his team is not fully healthy. And this is just what happened. He just outcoached a bad team. And you're right, if Malik Willis gets in and gets busy, they're going to be like, now that guy's a weapon because they don't really have Eskeen, whatever his name is, their number one receiver, out. He's hurt.
Oh, yeah.
And then the other guy, their number two. The rookie.
Out of Arkansas.
The rookie, he's hurt.
He's hurt.
He's hurt, so now they're all banged up. So it's just like they don't want. Well, now you got this guy who's a weapon with his legs. You saw what Justin Fields did last night, and you see what Jalen Hurts has been doing. You see what Josh Allen's been doing.
What Daniel of the New York G's is doing. Listen, I will rip you to shreds, but when you show proficiency,
he's playing well this year. That's what I said.
Well. Daniel is playing well.
And
a couple times I was like, damn, Daniel.
And the whole X factor is Daboll comes in, changes how things operate, and everything changes.
Coach of the fucking year. I don't give a shit. No one should win Coach of the Year over Daboll. I don't give a shit what happens after this.
Yeah, I can't see anybody else. Not really.
They look like a 6-win team, period, for the entire season.
I guess depending on what happens with the Cowboys with Dak, and if he could stay fully healthy, how they navigated his absence and basically going undefeated until that last game.
Fuck Mike McCarthy.
I know. I'm just trying to find somebody else.
No. The only other person. Let me see who else navigated like difficult times. There's another coach.
Saleh down with the Jets is a candidate because they're playing well.
There's another coach though that I'm thinking about.
It all also depends on what ends up happening with the Seahawks. The Seahawks win like 10 games or 11, 12 games and win that division. And Pete Carroll's coach of the year.
That would be that.
He's coach of the year.
That would be crazy.
Because I can see the Giants.
The only thing I would say is this. Here's my pushback. Giants, we've been terrible for a while now, and Daniel has been the lead, but obviously he's gone through 4 coordinators and a couple head coaches in his whole time there. So I would say he's done more to change the culture, whereas there was already a culture with Pete Carroll in Seattle, and it's Geno's playing his best ball
until
they drafted really well.
Until that culture was hijacked by Dangerous, and we now see that culture went to Denver and they fucking suck. Team 3 migrated, and you see Pete got his squad back, and Pete's squad is balling.
I got my squad back, y'all.
Pete got his jerk back. That's funny. Nah, I mean, because I could see the Giants making the playoffs but not winning their own division because of the Eagles. And that might be the one blip, because if the Seahawks somehow win their division, which everyone thought without Russ they were going to be trash.
This is true.
So that would be like a fucking miracle.
That would be. But also the Giants making the playoffs this year, also akin to a miracle, because we ain't see it. Not a giant. They would be not a Giant fan in this bitch.
No, none of us ever, not even you ever said anything about playoffs. But we all did. All football pundits, all people who watch football for real, all said, they got Daboll now. They're definitely going to be better, because the defense was already pretty solid.
Saquon, it was like figuring out what Saquon was going to be again.
Yeah, defense was already pretty solid. Good organization as far as ownership and whatnot. So strong tradition. You know, they got all the bedrock for being a solid squad. And then you get Daboll, and I'm telling you, every single place he's been has been championship winning level places. And it'll happen there too. Because why in the world would you guys ever let him go? You see how many bad coaches there are in the NFL right now. You know, Hackett is the worst coach I've seen since McAdoo.
They better McAdoosh, who ended Eli's streak. Yeah. We better hold on to this one. We got
At least Gino is rewriting his narrative, and that's not his only thing, is getting his jaw broke by his own teammate and then breaking Eli's streak for one game, and then Eli starting again.
Well, I don't want to get into that one, but the jaw breaking part, and also the stick to itiveness. You know how broken this guy should be. Came into the league, high draft pick, comes right into the New York media, is expected to ball out, and then proceeds to have 6 different coordinators and like multiple head coaches, and then he's not able to develop in one system at all. Called a bust, moves around, but if you noticed, every time he was a backup, he normally stuck in those places, right? And people, they just found out, hey, I like this guy. Like I always say, they didn't know if they liked. They hate you when you're the starter and you're fucking up, but when you're the backup and you just get to hang out and be one of the guys, they love you. And then when you get in the game, they root for you. You know why? Because you're their homie.
Well, not only that,
everybody wants to see their homie doing good.
Not only that, Gino does have a ton of arm talent.
Yes.
So
no doubt he wasn't developed correctly.
Let me send you another link. That one went quick. Fucking Zoom. Fucking Zoom. We got suckbots in the chat. I love it. I love it. First you get shadow banned, and now we got suckbots. All right. Suckbots. 69 girls, XYZ, hilarious. Send the suckbots over to Beefy. Third block of gray batter. Game picks. Predictions. Game picks get a lot easier. You start to understand who teams are, especially the depth of teams. Because it's backup season. Injuries and just fatigue, the consequence of continued reps when your body is not built to do that anymore. They don't practice like they play anymore. So when they play, it's like it takes a physical toll. It used to never be like that. You know, the game is so different, man. You see like a wide receiver run a go route, and then say they don't catch it or something. Immediately go to the sideline.
Everybody's tapping out. What happened to stamina? I see running back
30-yard run.
I played with cats. You didn't come out the game
Ever.
If you were in the game, you didn't come out the game until you scored, or unless you got injured.
Tap out
You
city, man.
stayed in the game. I'm seeing that nonsense. I remember who did that. Somebody's brother. It was oh, it was what's his face's brother? Jones. Thomas Jones's brother. Julius Jones. Went to Notre Dame. And he's playing in it's rookie season, and he's doing this, and it's preseason, and he did a couple good runs, and then he did like this, and Parcells looked at him like, huh? Stay your ass in there. No. And then he did, and he continued to be successful.
Yo, so
It's like, what? What?
so this goes to show you how we always talk about the evolution of the game. So now for a corner, wide receiver, number one wide receiver runs a go route and you defend it well. Don't intercept it. Now it's third down and long. You got to jog back and get ready to do it all over again. There is no tapping out. There never has been. So now you see secondary depth, how important that is, because it has become like the offensive line, where the offensive line doesn't get to tap out, but those DNs are getting rotated and the D linemen are getting rotated. So the offensive line is just eating all of that. It's a different type of athlete. So the secondary, we're seeing the evolution of what these secondary players are now required to do to excel, and now they're being built to do that, and it's happening. I think it's fucking dope. Commanders and Packers. I should have picked the Commanders because Heineke. I knew it was going to be a Heineke boost. I should have known that.
Fucking too.
I just have too much faith in Aaron Rodgers, and I shouldn't.
Me too.
And you got me drunk on Romeo Dobbs, you asshole. I keep believing in something.
This is not his fault. He's just young. I'm telling you, he's coming.
No, he's not.
Well, you got to have a quarterback who wants to work with you.
He
Imagine
just
him and Jordan Love become the new Love connection.
he should be working
His
with
name
Jordan
is
Love.
Romeo, and that guy's name is Love. They would be the illest connection in the league.
Better than Pickens and Pickett.
Yo, you know what I'm saying? You got Romeo Love.
And Pickett's and Pickett, we knew they were going to take off. Now Pickens has already started to just ball.
Eaton. I grabbed him. Like, people grabbed him away from me during the draft. I said, okay.
No, see, I drafted him.
Get impatient and drop him.
I did. I got impatient because the back end of my
I love it.
receiving core just isn't performing, and
I know.
I
I was like, yes, drop. I was waiting for all you motherfuckers to drop him.
Yeah,
So
whatever.
I snatched him right up because I knew Pickett would get in there, and once Pickett got in there, it was going to be Pickett to Pickens.
yeah, whatever. We both knew better. We both knew better that Heineke was going to be the boost because Carson Wentz is that bad at football. He's really that bad at playing quarterback.
And they really fuck with Heineke.
Yeah.
I talked.
I didn't understand
about
why they
this.
didn't just let him start and why they went after Carson. That
I
was
asked my cousin this, he's diehard. I said, why did you do that? And he was like, he was like, how do you feel about Carson? I was like, I feel about him the way I always feel about him. What do you think? I was like, you should start Heineke.
Yeah.
Like, it was clear. The team rocks with him. Like, who else? Like, stop. Rock with him.
It's just same things happening in New England right now. I mean, the team rocks with Zappy. Like, they really fuck with him.
Mm-hmm.
The vibe is different. So, I'm telling you, hey, trade him to the Commanders. Get Heineke as Zappy's backup because he's one of the best backups in football.
Absolutely.
And they both play very similar, so that you wouldn't have to change anything at all. And, the Commanders could start over with Mac Jones and have hope and get rid of Carl.
In my whole they got it. Yeah. I mean, you survived cancer, but maybe
They got to be brave enough to do what the Colts have done and just be like, Matt Ryan makes more than anybody else in the NFL this season, $43 million, and they just benched him for the rest of the season. It wasn't even like, yeah, he's hurt. We'll see.
You gotta have the
he's
stones
done.
to do this. You gotta have the stones to do this because even though Carroll, we just say he lost the culture and it became Dangerous Nation, he did that. He benched $43 million Matt Flynn and got himself a Super Bowl. Should have had two, but got himself a Super Bowl because of it.
The hoodie.
No Super Bowl with Matt Flynn.
The hoodie benched the most expensive NFL player of all time for the most
a six rounder.
the most unheralded.
Pick 199.
Yeah, pick 199 and then stuck with him.
Mm-hmm.
Even when Bledsoe came in and won the playoff game, started and won a playoff game, still went back to Tom and won that Super Bowl. And then you see the 2 Super Bowls that we lost. Well, 3, if you want to count the Malcolm Butler incident as another weird one. The 2 that we lost, there was 2 very questionable roster moves the day before the Super Bowl where the hoodie cut somebody the day before the Super Bowl and add someone else, and we lost both of those games. And I knew we were going to because I'm just like,
terrible karma.
Why did you do that? Tyquan Underwood got cut.
Oh yeah,
the
Rutgers.
day before for a lineman who didn't even see the field, right?
Which that is just.
And then
was it Tyquan or was it Kenny Britt?
No, it was Tyquan Underwood. Kenny Britt was already on the squad. Tyquan Underwood
because they were home. Yeah, they
was on there too, and he got cut literally Saturday, and they added
super bad
a practice squad lineman who never even saw the field.
Right? Why'd you do that? That's weird. That's weird.
I would have to think that you would think, well, the way the Giants beat them the first time, they have the blueprint of pressure up the middle. We're going to need offensive linemen, depth, help, whatever. But it's bad football karma. Saturday.
That's bad football karma, Chief. Like you could have actually used Tyquan more than you were going to use that lineman. That's crazy.
And then, the Eagles, when having Malcolm Butler not play one snap when, Matthews is destroying the Patriots secondary. And it's just like, your best, he's an all-pro corner.
And let me tell you something. Who's not even in the league anymore? Jordan fucking Matthews. Gone.
Yeah.
Where are you?
Malcolm Butler isn't either, but...
Well, but Malcolm Butler got another shot this year.
And Malcolm Butler will live in infamy as one of the most famous plays in NFL history.
And let me tell you something. I cannot say that Malcolm Butler's career is done, where I can confidently say we're not going to see Jordan Matthews again.
Ever again. Yeah, we both should have known better.
Which is a shame because Jordan Matthews was dope, especially at Vanderbilt.
Yeah, we should have both known better on this Commanders game. We know the trends of football. I'm telling you, we both fell victim to the Dobbs and trusting Aaron Rodgers to beat a bad football team.
And you know what? I also thought this coaching staff would start running the route. I was like, oh.
No, they just got...
a team you can run against, you can run against them.
No, what they did instead is they just got the ball to Aaron Jones for 2 pass-catching touchdowns. He had more catches than carries. But he did put up 30 fantasy points, so I'll take it.
So, but the thing is you got, I don't know what they call him. I don't know what they call him.
Dylan, yeah.
Dylan. Whatever they call him. How you got a guy like that in the backfield? I
just think their offensive line sucks. I think that may be the issue is there because the same thing's happening to the Bucs. They can't
look at Chicago. Chicago's offensive line ain't shit. Let me tell you something. And David Montgomery still gets yards. Herbert still got yards. Like you still gotta commit to it.
Yeah, but you also have a quarterback who imposes a threat of anytime he's on the field since they're running RPOs that he might take off. So that's going to occupy one defender at least. So you're now 1-on-1 across the board.
Aaron ain't the same Aaron used to run. He don't run no more.
That's what I'm saying. So like, both those offensive lines suck, and their running games are putrid, and their teams are suffering because of it because they know there is no running threat. Their offensive line sucks. They can get pressure on both of those teams with 4 players the entire game, and those 2 quarterbacks can't get away from anybody.
All right. Well, then let me ask you this very valid question. How does an offensive line get better at run blocking if they don't run the damn ball?
This is very true because you don't practice game scenarios because I was just talking about this before you chimed in that these players are tapping out because they don't practice how you play anymore at all.
They don't even barely suit up.
There is no
even suit up.
There is no full speed in pads ever. And you can tell.
How you play this game if you don't suit up and click-clack with your teammates?
Well, that's why the Titans continue to find ways to win with a bad roster and injuries everywhere because they do.
They do. Exactly.
They play football. That's how you see how the Patriots are able to sneak out wins that they shouldn't and be 3-4. Should be 4-3. That game was an albatross, whatever. That whole quarterback situation is going to fracture that team. You can tell. You could tell. So, but
Woody hasn't dealt with this sort of adversity since he was with the Browns.
yeah, and this is for real because the quarterbacks are two completely different things.
Even though they look like twins.
They do, but Kerry, you can tell the way that the team plays and reacts with Zappy is
That's Zappy Squad.
way different. It's like they're playing football with Zappy, and with Mac, they're trying to find the Patriots way with Mac.
They're trying not to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Playing super tight, trying not to make mistakes. With Zappy, they playing. Because with Zappy, they're like, he's going to give me a chance. Devontae Parker doesn't normally make that catch.
Nope.
Devontae's like, Zappy's giving me a chance. Watch this. We haven't seen, I mean, I know he's still growing as a receiver, but 16.
Jacoby Myers.
Jacoby Myers. He don't make catches like that and then have the wherewithal to then dive in. But he's like, oh, yes. Jacoby Myers, who's now scoring touchdowns, mind you, at receiver. Yeah, so it's a different feel when you feel like your quarterback is going to give you a shot. You're going to go all out so that he keeps giving you shots. But if you feel like he's not even going to look my way and like it's going to be some bullshit, you're going to be like, maybe I'll block. I'll look like I'm giving effort, but you know what it is.
Yeah, it's so funny the amount of things that we pontificate in our conversations about the NFL that literally come true in real time, and one of them was the evolution of Jacoby Myers. We discussed how he has one final stage until he's a complete receiver is he has to learn how to score, which he had never done, really. And he scored 2 out of the last 3 games, I think, so he is getting busy. Zappy.
He has a nose. He has a feel for it and an instinct for the end zone now.
Well, also, you know, with Zappy at the helm, there's more go because Zappy, listen, you don't throw for 5,900 yards and 62 touchdowns in one season if you don't understand how football operates.
And in Alabama, Mac never had to do that because he had Najee Harris, who he could just hand the rock to. And when he was putting up big numbers, he was throwing to Devonta Smith, who had 75, 60, 50-yard touchdowns. He didn't like everyone he threw it to was taking it 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 yards.
Yeah, it was retarded.
That's how his numbers got bloated.
Well, Mac Jones, the one thing that I feared about him becoming a Patriot is he putting up Matt Leinart numbers.
Right, because he has so much talent.
There's so much talent around him. He's just putting up stupid numbers, which he did.
Like I could throw a slant. I could throw a deep hook, and I know my guy's gonna figure it out and take it.
That's the one question I had about Joey Boyband. Like you saw, I'm an LSU fan. You see what he did that year, but I'm also like, do you see who he's throwing this football to?
Also, though, you saw his toughness because he had a lot of third down runs.
That's what I'm saying. That was the difference.
That's what made me rock with him. And I was like, oh, this guy's tough.
That was the difference.
And he goes head first every single time.
But
he's different.
I knew looking at that receiving core, I was just like, do you see what he's playing with here?
I really wish Jamar would have came back for that season too. So oh my God, it wouldn't even been close. It wouldn't even been close. I think him not coming back made it closer for Alabama.
Yeah.
And everybody else, because they had to actually fight, but really
And we said it from the beginning. You think Justin Jefferson is good at football? Wait until you see this guy, because he's actually better. All right, Panthers and Bucks. Kind of should have picked this because, the Bucks are terrible. The Panthers' defense is pretty solid. P.J. Tucker gives them the backup boost. They also, removing Christian McCaffrey, turned them into Hubbard and Foreman, which is formidable.
Also, it switched up their offensive philosophy because they were so CMC heavy but also they also like P.J. Walker.
Well, that's what I meant.
He did get in for a couple of games last season.
I said P.J. Tucker. That's the basketball player.
Yeah. And they did get See, I think my thing was I know Chin was out, and I was like, huh, I just don't know. Because I was thinking about Mike Evans. I was like, maybe Mike Evans and Tom Brady will just be too much. I just thought that it would just take them, and it would be a close game, but the Brady to Mike Evans connection would just be too tough, and it wasn't even. Obviously, we saw from play two. I mean, Mike Evans ended up with 5 catches and almost 100 yards.
But that deflated the team. It was over. It was over, dude. I actually muted the game and listened to the third game that I was watching instead because I was like, I already see what's going to happen.
That is so sick, bro.
They're just the X factor is Tom's leadership and presence, and when he's not there, they're just relying on his greatness, which he is. But he's also 45 fucking years old and divorcing a $100 million a year supermodel.
You know what else we got to think about? We got to think about Steve Wilks. Steve Wilks, who some people believe got done dirty by the Cardinals. I think a lot of us might think that. And is not Matt Rule. So Steve Wilks' brand of football is different. And he will run that rock. Because he ran David Johnson, and David Johnson had his best season.
Well, it looked like I was watching that game, and it looked like the Panthers of old, with the two running backs getting busy.
And they had the other name.
We always forget the other guy. Because D'Angelo Hall is more memorable because of the dreads and the visor.
No. D'Angelo Williams.
D'Angelo Williams with the visor and the dreads is more visually memorable than
the sweet locks.
Mike something.
Not Mike.
Mike, fuck.
It'll come.
Giants.
Like I said, be involved. But anyway, go ahead.
Whatever. Giants over the Jags. Easy game because the Giants are a solid football team.
Sorry, Jonathan. Something. It's Jonathan though. It's Jonathan.
Yeah.
For sure.
Giants, your squad over the Jags. The Jags just aren't that good. They're competing. They aren't taking a step forward.
Listen, it went right down to the wire.
Literally to the wire.
Saquon did the right thing by sliding, but it seems like he slid out of bounds. So he just needed to just fall down.
This is what good football teams do: is they win games that bad football teams.
Jonathan Stewart, bitch. No.
You're right.
Boom, 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 boom. No Alzheimer's today, bitch.
Mediocre football teams will lose games that they're supposed to win in these scenarios late.
We would have lost that game last year.
Yeah, the well-prepared and well-coached teams find a way to win, like Vrabel always does. And Daboll's going to be another one of these guys.
And let me tell you something. Those moves by Saquon, not scoring a touchdown last week, him doing what he tried to do, even though he slid out of bounds this week, that's not Daboll. That's Saquon.
Yeah, Saquon's got a high.
Saquon is such a student of the game.
He's got a super high football IQ.
So, it's like when it comes time to re-up, I know he's a running back, and I know he has injury issues.
Yeah, but Kerry, the salary cap is going to be so fucking high, it's not going to matter. He'll get paid.
Yeah, I kind of want to keep Saquon.
They will.
This guy's such a difference maker.
Well,
it's not even funny.
So the best thing for the Giants and for keeping Saquon is going to be if the Jets take a giant step backwards without Breece Hall, and then the Giants will look at Saquon and be like, fuck, you see what happened when we didn't have you last year? And now we have you. And you see what just happened to them? Mm-hmm. Because Saquon and Breece are kind of similar.
Sure. Even though I would say Breece got him in speed.
Well, of course, but I'm saying the way that they play home run threat, say if Saquon didn't get hurt, full home run threat, can occupy between the tackles, catch out of the backfield, dominant presence, getting 25, 30 touches a game.
And let me tell you something. I know this is going to sound crazy coming from me, but I also think, bear with me now, keeping Daniel paired with him.
If he's played like this, yeah.
The running, and not for nothing, it's not like Daniel has a bad arm. He has a live one. It's just I was worried about his accuracy. Sometimes he gets erratic, but also he has no receivers.
Kerry, all of my criticisms ever were not actually the fumbles were retarded. So many fumbles.
That's it. And he's
But
making dumb decisions.
well, you also see that my criticism not lies in actually him. It's more lies in them relying on him to do these things, which that's not what he's capable
But
of.
now Dable sees what he's capable
Yeah.
of and is now using him the absolute right way. And we've seen.
You know what I want to see?
I can't even. I gotta call him Daniel now.
You know who I want to see go to the Giants?
So,
Tavon Austin. Can one coach, before he's done, use this guy properly? Just one.
something I would love that so much.
Deshaun Jackson just signed. Baltimore.
And see, because when you have speed,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what your age is.
Yeah.
When you have, that's how Ted Ginn stayed in the game. This guy got hurt 100 times.
Yo, Kerry.
He played 15 seasons in the league.
Deshaun Jackson signed this morning and is already active for Sunday.
I love it for him.
Because he's just going to run in straight lines.
I love this. Even though that would, because of his Eagle years, fuck that guy. But at the same time, love that guy because he shows you, look, I know what I do. I do this thing. Now, make sure you score first before you drop the damn ball. But because he did it in high school and he did it in college and he did it in the pros. But if you have speed, because how old is he now? 38?
He's old. He can still run, though.
Still run. Let me tell you something. Darryl Green still ran a 4.3 at age 43.
T.O.'s still running a 4.4.
At age 47.
48, I think.
48. Yes.
Incredible.
48 years old. He's still running a 4.4, 4.3, 4.4. Yeah.
Ravens over the Browns. I actually had this right and then switched it right before kickoff because I just think the Ravens defense is so terrible that the Browns will understand that we can literally just run this 86 times down their throat and win this game. But they keep thinking, because this is Deshaun Watson's team, that they have Deshaun Watson playing at quarterback, and that's not him. That's Briskets.
Why I didn't pick the Browns because of that exact.
They are asking him to do way too much right now.
They think they got. Listen, it's like, look, babies, we don't all look alike. I know Briskets. Listen.
No, Kerry. So
That's not Deshaun back there.
you know that the Browns.
Wait, you got a couple more weeks.
You know
Yeah, that's not him.
No, but Kerry, you know the Browns are getting 8, 9, 10 in the box. So they're going to force you to either just beat them, which they should. Their offensive line is one of the best in football. They'll put them both in the backfield at the same time. You'll never know who's getting the ball, and just run over people. Who fucking cares?
You could be more creative. You absolutely could. They got sold on the juice because this is Njoku's best season. Let's keep it plain. This has been his best season, and then you have a receiver that's not being talked about at all. Amari Cooper is having a very productive season, and Briskets is finding him. So because you had that action going on, the Browns have been staying in games, most of them, scoring points, and because you have the bell cow of Chubb Rock, my favorite running back in the league. And then you have Hunt doing what he does.
Yeah, but Kerry, what they keep doing is moving the pocket and getting Briskets out of the pocket and outside, and it's just like
at the end of the game, they're putting it on Jacoby when they should be putting it on Chubb Rock.
Yeah, I was an idiot for switching that one.
Hunt. Yeah, they're not doing that. They're thinking that Deshaun is back there, and it's like, nah, you got the wrong one, yo.
Yeah,
a couple more weeks to go.
Yo, honestly, all of us should have only missed the Tampa game. We should have realistically understood that the Packers were going to lose that football game.
You are absolutely correct.
I
almost switched it But then at the last second, I was like,
And then the Patriots, who knew that was going to happen? Because the Patriots have they've been playing so well with Zappy. Had I known they were actually going to go back to Mac to start, I would have switched because
and it was in Foxborough and it's Hoodie. So you think that
breaking records against Hallis and the Bears.
He's going to take away Fields running, but that's the thing. Chicago didn't run Fields like that before. So Hoodie didn't have tape on, like they didn't run him dedicated like they ran him against them. So they didn't really have tape on that.
Well,
Hoodie would have taken that away.
Also, what they did different is what they allowed him to do is if the pocket breaks down, just take off. And I'm telling you, the entire game, Matthew Judon dominated so much that he just kept blowing right past and he just kept going right through that hole and breaking out the right side every single fucking time. I'm just like, put somebody else over there. Because Judon was actually too dominant.
He was mauling that dude.
Yeah, it
Whoever
was
there.
It was disgusting, and I'm just like, he's actually playing too well because every single time he blows right past him, and Fields is just ducking off and taking off.
So what Judon should have done is aggress and then hang back, and then play for the knockdown or then play for the scramble. I get it, but then he needed to adjust his shit too.
Yeah, I know the 2.5 sacks didn't affect the game.
Right.
You could have affected the game more by not getting numbers.
Yep.
In that particular setting, because it was just the way it played out. Nobody saw this coming because they weren't doing this with Fields.
Especially in that wet sort of thing when you're rushing like that, because I've been in that position before. It's like you don't want to be so aggressive because once you slide by, that's it. They take off in that direction.
That's what I'm saying. He just kept taking off, and there's no catching him back. It was all game long.
You gotta be like a point guard or a lead, like a shooting guard who knows how to switch speeds with the rock.
Yeah, it was not good. Ravens and Bucks this week. We'll talk about that. It'll be an interesting game because I think the Bucks are going to lose and have a terrible season. But we'll also talk about the fact that they're still in first place in their division because their division fucking sucks. Jets over the Broncos. Breece Hall gets hurt early. Jets still find a way to win. I don't look at the Jets to continue to surge depending on how well James Robinson plays. He's not Breece Hall, though. Breece Hall is a home run hitter.
But here's the thing, though. Here's what gets lost because Breece Hall was playing so well. Zach Wilson's also playing really fucking well.
Well, they're not asking him.
Zach Wilson looked like a bust. Zach Wilson's looking way better now. And also, you know who they're getting back? Who they didn't lose? Elijah Moore. And let me tell you something. Corey Davis is a little nicked up right now. It's the perfect opportunity for Elijah Moore.
Yeah, but he wants to be traded. That's not going to end well. They're sitting him out.
Watch.
We'll see. We'll see how good of a coach Saleh is.
All right. If he does what he's supposed to do, Elijah Moore will have no less than 10 targets this game, and will make a big difference. Watch what I tell you.
100%. The Broncos suck outside of Patrick Surtain Jr. Texans and Raiders. Raiders are played as we thought they would these last 2 weeks, so we'll continue to see them surge. Hunter Renfro's back in the fold. When they get Waller back, it's going to be even more. They're relying on Josh Jacobs, which when they do that, they win. Let's get him the ball, 20 touches, undefeated. It just happens. Whatever. The Texans fucking suck, dude. Dameon Pierce is a stud, but Akins, again, tight end. Grab him.
But also, Davis Mills is not terrible.
No, he's not terrible, but he's not.
The situation is terrible. He needs, you know what? If he was with the Colts, I'd be like, Colts are interesting. Because he has talent around.
You know, but Kerry, I have to counter you on this one because the difference is he's kind of at the same level of like Heineke and Zappy. And when they get in the game, there's life, there's a spark, things move. Davis Mills, there is no life, there is no spark. They suck. Dameon Pierce is dope, though.
But he's a smart quarterback.
No, he's not terrible, but he's not good enough to carry this.
Oh, no, I'm not going to say he's, good enough to carry. No.
You have to have...
He needs to be in a great situation. And it hurts because you also lost your top pick wide receiver, Jameson, No. Jameson was there. Another top wide receiver with speed, and it's like, you couldn't, you didn't need to lose offensive gems on that team. But Damian, their running back though,
They got O.J. Howard and they got Akins. They got Damian Pierce. They do have they do have some solid wide receivers who do find themselves in the end zone.
I see Nico Collins. Nico Collins was supposed to have a bigger year earlier.
Well, they got rid of his running. They got rid of his running mate, and he went somewhere else. And now it's like you're the guy now, and it's It's just like
we'll see.
I forget the other guy's name, but he went somewhere else, and that just created a void. So it looks like that was like the leader in the wide receivers room.
So you got Brandon Cooks, Nico Collins. I forget. Yeah, you're right. I forget who.
Yeah, but they do have some solid tight ends. They're just not any good on defense. They suck. Seahawks over the Chargers. This was an easy one. I'll tell you, this was easy. Seahawks have got it going on right now, and the Chargers just have Justin Herbert and Eckler. Mm-hmm. And then Mike Williams got hurt. So they're going to suffer for a while. At least Everett will get more looks because they have to.
Yeah, high ankle sprain. Let me tell you something. High ankle sprain has been the injury of the year since people are like.
He's tall too, so.
That's what I'm saying. Like people, it's been less. I mean, we've had a few ACLs, PCLs, and MCLs, but it's been a lot of high ankle sprains because people are tackling lower because they don't want to get any sort of penalties and any other shit like that. So either you're getting concussed as fuck or you're getting a high ankle sprain.
A lot of the ankle sprains are, the way that the game is not even like getting hit and injuring somebody. It's just since people are low, they're landing on people's ankles.
Yep.
It's all the danger is at your feet now, and it's happening. Chiefs over the Niners. The Chiefs are balling. They're balling right now. They're looking really good. The Niners, CMC, we'll see what they're trying to do. I think you get CMC. I know their division is winnable, but you pick him up.
It's funny because every time we say CMC, I'm thinking of CMC Music Factory.
Yeah.
And it's like, will they have the power? We'll see.
Well, that guy was Jack, so sign him. He can play. So they get Run CMC. Is that better?
I love that. Run CMC. Let's do that.
And then you can move Jeff Wilson to the backup. You still have Debo. Brandon Ayuk is Garoppolo's favorite target. Kittle is healthy. Defense is good, so they're still trying to win that division. It looks like they know that the NFC is terribly weak this year because the Bucs and Packers, who were supposed to be runaway favorites in it, are both terrible. So the NFC is literally now down to the Seahawks and the Vikings. Who would have thunk it?
And also, let me tell you this:
did I actually just say that?
You did. When Kittles is more of a receiving threat, the 49ers are a much better offensive team. Strong period. Yes, Debo does all these things, and he's amazing.
Yeah, but now...
let me tell you something. Brandon Ayuk, not as great of a blocker, but he gets open. Jawan Williams is an excellent blocking wide receiver. And I feel like if they would get him in more blocking action and Kittles in more receiving action, you would see this offense take another step up because Kittles is a tough-ass tackle. He can catch, and he's excellent yak. But the plays that they have for him now, as soon as he catches the rock, he gets tackled and goes down. So he's not getting the normal yak and not even getting the opportunity to even make plays running down the field. So they need to think about that more. I promise you, if they were to get Kittles more in offensive action where he can actually run after catch, this offense takes a further step ahead.
It does, but
become a real problem.
Debo got what he wanted. He's just a receiver now because Christian McCaffrey is going to take.
Got Run CMC.
He's taking all of that action now because he can do all of that. Actually, better than Debo can, honestly, when healthy. When fully healthy, Christian McCaffrey's.
Well, because he's super quick.
Yeah, so just.
Debo's more like Debo.
Yeah.
But McCaffrey will make you look stupid.
It's just
McCaffrey's and one on the
it's
football field.
he's so low to the ground,
Mhm.
moving at that speed. It's incredible.
And that was the thing when he was coming out of Stanford. People and you saw he has a ton of plays like that where he made people look stupid.
Yeah.
And they were like, will that transfer to the league? And then you see his first 3-4 seasons, you're like, oh, yeah,
Well, typically that guy would have been made into a slot receiver in New England.
right. And he would have remained a running back.
Yeah.
But
All right, Steelers get beat by the Dolphins. Tua's back, a little bit rusty, but the Steelers aren't any good. Pickett throwing picks late. Pickens is going to start balling. That guy's amazing. The Steelers, don't let that Tampa win gas you. Tampa sucks. So the Steelers aren't any good, and this will be Tomlin's first year going sub 500. The Dolphins,
I don't believe it.
we'll have to check their schedule. Patriots, we already talked about the Patriots and Bears. So we got 3 minutes left in this one. So, yeah. I don't think, even with Tomlin, I think their offensive coordinator, Matt Canada or whatever his name is, they hate him. All of Pittsburgh hates him. That guy sucks. Their offense has been unimaginative for like the last decade. And almost every single team that they play since Watts isn't playing is going to be better than them. They do have a very solid skill position. There's 3 of them that have all displayed that they can play.
And Pickett can get it to them.
Yeah, and then Freiermuth is a competent tight end, and then they have Harris. So in the skill position, they do have talent, but
So we're saying we're looking at an OC.
yeah, bad coordinator.
Okay.
Bad coordinator. So
Pickett has to come into your next season, being your starter, with the same weapons. You got to improve offensive line. Obviously, you getting T.J. Watt back. You still got Michael Fitzpatrick.
So you know how the NFL is a copycat league.
Sure.
If the Giants somehow win the division over Philly, who everyone's runaway favorite to go to the Super Bowl, and that's the success story, like McVay, everyone will look at it and be like, look how a coaching change changed that team and Daniel Jones and everything. And you're going to see a wholesale change in these bad situations because a lot of players are in bad fucking situations. The Steelers have been in a bad offensive situation for a decade.
Tomlin will be fine, but he got to get rid of them fucking. You got to get a new offensive coordinator.
100%, and we'll get one new session in and make our game predictions and picks for next week in about 45 seconds. These Zoom things seem like they go a lot faster than they used to. I feel like every one that we do is like 5 minutes shorter. But, John Frank, what up, homie? This will be the last one as we look forward to next week. Next week is week 8? That is the unofficial halfway point of the season. There's 18 weeks because of the bye. 17 game weeks, so we're almost at the halfway point. Oh, we got all kinds of suck bots in the chat tonight. This is awesome. The suck bots are out. They love talking about NFL football. Yo, it is like hot in New York today. Like hot, it's so gross. 96% humidity or something today. It was retarded. Spoke too much today. Shout out to our sponsor, Cushwick Farms. It is hoodie season. I've been in the hoodie shop for days, prepping things for this run. So, you already know. Hit me on Instagram. Oh, it's so hot in here. Either that or if I've smoked too much or is a combination of the two. I'm imagining that it is a combination of the two. Maybe something more. Who knows? Maybe I'm up to something. We need Nice to pop in. The Jets are good and the Lakers are... Lakers look like the worst team in the NBA, which is hilarious. Not that you should laugh at anybody's misfortune or things of this nature, but only because it's fun to make fun of Nice's teams that he likes. And the Lakers suck right now. It's incredible that your team leader and mega superstar says things like, yeah, we don't shoot the ball very well. We're not like a shooting team. I don't know what you want me to say. Like Kerry says, like Aaron Rodgers saying, yeah, they just need to get better. I don't know. It's not on me. It's on them. I know where they're supposed to be. I put the ball where they're supposed to be. They're not where they're supposed to be. So it's not me. It's them. Maybe LeBron and Aaron Rodgers were doing ayahuasca together. They're playing very similar. It's like an American tragedy story.
What happened?
It's like an American tragedy story.
What's that?
Aaron Rodgers and LeBron James seasons paralleled upon each other right now.
Yeah, but you know what though? Well, LeBron, I would say that he's loyal to his peeps, and like he'll rock with you until you show him, I just can't work with you anymore. But he'll advocate for you. He'll work with you. He'll make the time for you.
J.R. Smith.
Can't say the same about Aaron.
No, the only reason I'm comparing them is because they're underperforming and they're both answering questions about the criticism on their team's performance in the same manner.
Wait, but how is he underperforming? He dropped 31.
No, but the Lakers are 0 and whatever.
Yes, it's the Lakers, but
I'm talking team-wise.
This is true. And their roster, look at that roster.
And Aaron Rodgers also, I saw a very telling stat. And I think, with Aaron Rodgers doing all the things that he's doing in his life, going on these spiritual journeys and retreats and not throwing a football in the offseason and shit like that, I think it's starting to show, right? Aaron Rodgers has gone like 22 straight games without hitting 300 yards passing.
Also, remember, for years, I've said this is the most accurate quarterback I've ever seen in my lifetime. If you're not throwing in the offseason, as you age, like muscle memory, you got to keep that muscle memory tight. Because muscles, like the mind, they start to forget if you don't use them in the same manner. And they're like, oh, we still doing this? Oh, I didn't know. So you might hit where you used to hit 4 out of 5, maybe 5 out of 5. Now maybe you hit 2 out of 5.
All right.
Which makes you average, but doesn't keep you at the status that you attain.
Yeah, it's their teams around them just aren't any good at all. Either. And that's the problem. Like,
see, the difference is LeBron is still putting up numbers.
Yeah.
Aaron is not. That's what makes football the
Well,
ultimate
Tom's
team.
not either. Yeah, Tom's not either.
That's what makes football the ultimate team shit. Like in basketball, you could still put up your numbers. your team around you is shit. You still get your numbers and still
So you look at
accolades and all that.
you look at the transition of Peyton Manning from the Colts to the Broncos, where he put up record-setting numbers and they go on to win a title. But then you take a microcosm look at the team that was around him. A, that defense, and then B, Demaryius Thomas. Who was the white kid that played at Minnesota in college? Eric Decker. No, not Eric Decker.
Yeah.
Was it Eric Decker?
Yeah, 87, married an influencer.
Yeah. They had skill positions around them.
And then they had the tight end who had like a 3-year burst and then disappeared. But I will say this though, when Peyton first got there, he was putting up all those numbers. They made it all the way to the Super Bowl.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
When he was noodle-armed, and they just had to figure it out on offense.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They had a team that could win, not on him, and they won. All right, so you look at Tom, and they say, well, Tom got to Tampa, and it's because of Tom that they won. Well, no, the defense was the best defense in football. It absolutely dominated, especially through the playoffs. And then that receiving core was absolutely insanely talented and healthy. Mm-hmm. Godwin healthy, Mike Evans healthy, Gronk healthy and dominating. Scoot's getting busy. Playoff Lenny at his full playoff lore.
My man was getting sacks. You know
Jason,
who my man is.
Jason Pierre-Paul.
My man was getting sacks.
Sue was.
He had like 2 sacks, and he was balling. He was like, "Oh, I remember this. I've done this before."
Sue was dominating. Like they just.
There's no Ndamukong Suh. Matter of fact, that kind of even surprised me that Ndamukong hasn't signed yet. They will get him later in the season. Somebody's gonna get Ndamukong Suh.
Speaking of,
he still wants to play, and he's still a fucking monster.
Huge. So, speaking of Tampa, Baltimore at Tampa for Thursday night. The good thing about Thursday Night Football is you can watch it on Twitch. I love it. It's awesome.
That's so funny.
And you can also watch the Prime Game Vision, which I checked out for the first time.
Well, it just gives you stats on the side? Or?
It gives you stats on the side, but it also puts a name over top of the skill position players as they're playing.
Almost like a video game.
Yeah, but I just don't like the camera angle that they use. It makes it tough to watch because it's kind of from the side. It's not like video game facing forward.
Well, in a video game, remember, you could switch it. You could
yeah, but it's weird because they're trying to allow you to watch football. It almost looks like the coach's cam vision where they're up real high and you can see everything at once because you can see everything at once, including their names. So it's cool. But it's really tough to watch. But it's cool because it's on Twitch. And you can just, it's free. And it's, actually streaming in real time because it's Amazon. And it's not streaming football and being 2 plays behind. Because when you're playing fantasy football and then streaming and watching, it sucks to do it at the same time. Because you're like, wait a minute, what just happened? Shit. I hate it. I hate it.
I never do real-time fantasy. Here's a hard rule. I don't check fantasy stats until the second half of the second set of games.
No, but it keeps me locked in all day long.
I get you, but for me, I'm like,
Nice.
Because I need to focus on these games.
Nah, man, this is perfect for my ADD because I can watch 3 games at the same time.
You could do that. Yeah. Then you could check
the Red Zone channel and all fantasy and live stats going so I can cross-reference FanDuel Fantasy and DraftKings Fantasies and get busy because the shit is hilarious. 5 cents to get in these rooms. Dude, I'm telling you, I'm up like 500 this year, and I was getting battered. But this last week, made a power move. Hilarious. I'm going with Baltimore because Tampa sucks right now, and it really depends on how healthy their secondary is. Because if Lamar gets past the linebacker level of Levante David and White, then if that third string secondary is back there, it's over. It's over. And watch. This would be a game for Deshaun Jackson to instantly get in and blow by a second string secondary and score a long touchdown on his only catch of the game, only target.
Which is so much his stat line. Mm-hmm. Two catches, 110 yards, 2 touchdowns. What? What?
100%. I'm actually, I'm the biggest Tom Brady supporter ever, but that team sucks. It's in Tampa. They should win. See, this is like the definitive game for me for this season for Tom. If they can win, get back to 500 and still be in first place and beat. It's not a quality team because Baltimore's defense is terrible, but they have Lamar Jackson, which means their offense is a quality offense in its own. But they've also been blowing games late.
Which also let's put this Baltimore defense in context.
They're terrible.
They have no rush. Calais Campbell hasn't been like historically. I rush the passer. He stops the run. He's a huge presence, but their strength has always been in the defensive backfield.
Well,
safeties, corners. You got Marlon Humphrey and you got Marcus, and they are two all-pro corners.
But if you have no rush, that you can't chase.
You have zero rush, and you got Patrick Queen in the middle, who he's an instinctual linebacker, and sometimes he'll make the play, but sometimes like he's just off. You know what I mean? He's not Ray Lewis, who just knows everything, knows all the plays and gets to it. Like Patrick Queen is still like learning, but like he had last week, he had a great game. Turnovers all night.
If the public is betting on Tampa, I'm definitely going with Baltimore because they're not good. I think they still might win that division because looks like you might be able to have a losing record and win that division.
In a lot of different divisions.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Baltimore. Denver at Jacksonville. Neither of these teams are any good, but Denver's really not any good. And it's in Jacksonville, so it's going to be hot and not the X factor of high altitude.
And this is another thing to say, at least with...
this is in London.
The descendant of Mark Rippon, they scored some points.
No, this is in London. This is Jacksonville all day.
This is Jacksonville's territory.
100%. And honestly, they've now settled on Etienne as their offensive focus, and they will be more focused. Let's just say that. Carolina at Atlanta. Ooh, PJ Walker is playing on okay. And Atlanta is we can sneak up and beat you, but we're not that good team this year.
See, if Matthew Ice Cream was still with Atlanta, I would have chosen Atlanta.
I'm actually going to go with Carolina because I think that they're just going to ride this little wave of momentum and also this new identity of running with these two guys downhill.
Wilkes. I'm saying Steve Wilkes.
Also, yeah, we said that Carolina was going to get a post-Matt Rule bump because it was a bad regime, and it's happening. It is happening. Chicago at Dallas. Dallas. Their defense is too good. Micah Parsons wins games on his own continually. Miami at Detroit. Tua time. Detroit sucks. Yeah, I'm going to go with Miami. Detroit's terrible. Dude, and it's not just, they're not even, so Kerry, at least through the first 4 weeks of the season, they were leading the league in scoring. And then the Patriots blanked them, and then they put up 6 points the next week, and then last week they put up like 3 or something.
And they had, from what I've heard, the greatest hard knock season.
Okay, so this happened. So your guy, starting running back, gets hurt.
DeAndre Swift.
Swift, he gets hurt. And then
Swifty.
And then Williams has injury issues, and then St. Brown has an injury issue, and then gets in the game and gets a concussion, and on like the 4th play of the game, out for the game. All right, and then their other wide receiver, Chark, plays for them now. He's been out. So
I thought DJ Chark was with Chicago.
No, he's with Detroit.
Oh, I thought he started with Chicago. That's why I was like, oh, well, Chicago at least has DJ Chark.
No, they only got Mooney. That's it.
Right.
Literally, that's it for them.
Well,
and Pettis is kind of, he's...
Yeah, but he pulled a hammy. Like, Pettis can never stay healthy.
Nah. No, they got a rookie Pettis.
Oh, yeah. Then they got the kid Reynolds, who used to be a Ram.
Yeah. Reynolds has been...
he got a little busy.
That's what I'm saying. Reynolds has been filling the void that Chark was supposed to fill.
Gotcha.
Because it's just carousel.
Wide out carousel.
But yeah, they suck right now, and Miami is different with Tua on the field. You can see it.
Clearly, Jaden Waddle comes to life.
And they're starting to use Gesicki, and they've settled on Mostert as their starting running back instead of trying to work Edmonds in.
Which is perfect.
Yeah, now they're just all fast.
Because Mostert, actually, low key, Mostert is a third down back.
Yeah. Knowing your daily fantasy, which you don't do, but if you do daily fantasy, he is cheap, and he is now their focus at running back. So grab him this week and the next couple weeks before his price goes up. Arizona at Minnesota. Minnesota coming off the bye. D-Hop is back. Minnesota's pass defense isn't very good, but the rest of the team is. This will be a true test to see what Captain Kirk is going to do with this O'Connell regime, because if Captain Kirk is Captain Kirk, he loses this game.
Yep.
And that's what will let us know if this season is different or not, because honestly, my preseason division winning 8-leg parlay, all of it still has legs in it except Green Bay. Like, Tampa's still in first place even though they suck, but all the rest of them, Tennessee's surging, Cincinnati's surging, all the rest of them were pretty easy.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do you see a scenario?
Oh, I don't think I picked Kansas City, though. I think I may have picked the Raiders, and I don't...
You picked the Raiders?
Yeah, I think I picked the Raiders, and I don't think that they're going to be able to catch Kansas City because...
They're not going to surge like that. I mean...
Kansas City would also have to fall back, and that's just not going to happen.
Green Bay can surge.
Yeah, because I can see Captain Kirk reverting back to Captain Kirk.
Right, exactly. So
I don't see Kansas City falling back.
Right. Do you see a scenario where Green Bay actually does surge?
Yeah. It can happen because if they understand what they are on offense and just do that, run the ball.
Yeah.
Use Aaron Rodgers when you need to.
Will they do that?
No.
Especially when you have the coach saying, what you mean simplify things? Like, he's so this is my bag. Nah, I know what I'm doing. That coach, Matt LaFleur, is like, nah, this is me, yo. And I think that is another big bugaboo. So you have Matt LaFleur who's like that, and you have Aaron who's like that. That cannot. That's 0 wins in Mikasa.
Yeah, you can't have two of them.
That? I'm gonna take you all the way back in the day on this quickly. Joe Gibbs and Joe Theismann, same thing. Joey Theismann was already doing his thing, or trying to, in Washington. Then here comes Joe Gibbs, who tries to change the whole shit up. And they two butted heads until Joey Theismann was like, listen, I want to be your guy. And then they started listening to each other. Then they started going to Super Bowls until LT ended all that. But yeah, so I think Aaron Rodgers just does not truly respect Matt LaFleur. And so that relationship will never work out. Because Aaron Rodgers is always like, I've been doing this. I know what it is. And Matt LaFleur is like, I got some ideas, and this is how we're going to do things. They're never going to meet up. Never.
Yeah, I could see a scenario where, like, Chicago beats Minnesota, and then they trip up a couple times because this is what Captain Kirk does, and they fall back, and then Green Bay does win, like, 3-4 straight or something and get back into it. Tampa, they can win their division with a losing record. The Raiders literally can go on like a 10-game win streak, and I don't think they can still catch the Chiefs because the Chiefs are playing. Patrick Mahomes playing incredibly well, and Juju has become like his guy. He's become like his guy. So.
And what did I say about Patrick Mahomes? I said everybody think Patrick Mahomes is about to fall off. I'm like, he's probably going to have the best season of his career, and as soon as he identified somebody else outside of Kelsey, I didn't know who it was going to be. I thought Juju was a big candidate because Juju is excellent at all the intermediate routes, the short intermediate routes, and then he will use his strength because he's not speed, strength, and for stiff arms and all that to get down the field. I thought the scandalous one would also help for downfield shit. I thought that. And I actually thought Nicole Hardman would show up.
He just had 3 touchdowns.
He just because it's open for him. But now that Juju has been more established, that has opened up Nicole even more. So now Nicole can really work this as long as Juju is the established number one. Kelsey, you got Kelsey, you got Juju. Now Nicole can do anything. So now MVS could be the number 4 and just like there'll be I can foresee MVS being so open, like how Gabriel Davis was so open against them in that playoff game, and like how he was just running free. Like that could be MVS for them because you could get McCole on all these gadget shits that you used to do with Tyreek, and then you could just use Juju how he does. Like Juju finds a way to get open. He'll get you first downs just like Kelsey. So you got 2 guys who have a nose for first down and also have a nose for yak. That's all Patrick needs. He needs you get Isaiah Pacheco. I mean, you know who's actually having a better season than Hilaire? I give it up to McKinnon. McKinnon stayed healthy.
They
McKinnon's that veteran they need.
No, but they don't have like the Stevenson big pounding Chubb.
Don't have that big, no, they don't, and that's the only thing that they're missing.
So,
Pacheco was more like that.
No, the way I look at it is they are literally now built, instead of Tyreek being, let's just get him the ball somehow, and then Travis Kelce eat up almost everything else, and then if somebody else is butt naked open, get him the ball. What they're doing now is they literally have your prototypical offensive set of Kelce working the seams and middle. You have MVS, who is now your vertical threat to just run stretch. You have your big physical, get first downs. Either
Michael Irvin receiver.
Either I catch the first down or you give it to me in front of the chains and I'm going to make it happen.
Yes.
Anquan Bolden, A.J. Brown level receiver. You have that guy, and then now you have Hardman, who can be your true slot. And then you have Hilaire, who's a great third down running back. They just don't have the big first down. Let's put it on my shoulders. I'm gonna.
So then, really, they need to rethink their running back order because I would have Isaiah Pacheco starting because he's a hard ass runner.
Well, I think going down
second down runner.
I think going down the stretch, he is going to, as he gets more familiar and whatnot. They are going to use him more because it's starting to get down into meaningful football.
Because he is a hard run. Not to say Hilaire started running a lot harder because Pacheco was on the roster.
Well, Pacheco's
also you have McKinnon. Jared McKinnon is also running hard as fuck too because he's the vet that's like, hey, I still do this too. And I think that really helps them. But Isaiah should be the starting running back. Hilaire should be the third down running back, and then McKinnon spell either one of them. The vet that spells either one of them. Now you're talking about a running game I can get behind.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Then you have basically your classic set of one of everything, which is what you try to get in the chess game of football.
They will be the most classic offense in the NFL. They will be a throwback offense.
It'd be hilarious if they get into the eye.
And I could see that happening.
All right, so Vegas at New Orleans. I'm going with the Raiders because they are surging right now. They are riding Josh Jacobs, which makes them in a completely different offense. And the Saints just keep finding ways to lose football games right now.
Well, the Saints haven't figured out who the hell their quarterback is going to be.
Well, Michael Thomas never plays. They don't know who their quarterback is.
And you know what? I got to thank you. I got to thank you for drafting him ahead of me because I would have. But I was drafting him late.
Yeah, he's just been on IR,
So he gave you a good 3 weeks.
Well, and in week 1, he was the difference. Mm-hmm. So that draft pick did get me a dub in week 1 because he 2 touchdowns in week 1. He absolutely balled out. Mm-hmm. Literally was the difference. It was hilarious. New England at New York. No Breece Hall. Bill Belichick against technical rookie for Zach Wilson, rookie playing year, impeccable. But who starts for New England? Technically, you would think New England's going to win this football game, but after what we just saw with that team literally looking like it's fractured and in turmoil, I don't know. But that also could just be one of those games. It happens. New England used to do that at Miami every single year, just go down and lay an absolute fucking egg.
I'll be honest with you, this is a tough ass game to call.
Yeah, this one's tough. I'm gonna have to see who's playing and who's not. Pittsburgh at Philly. Pff, really? Tennessee at Houston. Tennessee finds ways to win games against teams that it's better than, and it's better than Houston. Vrabel wins this football game. Washington at Indianapolis. Sam Ellinger, do the Colts get a post Matt Ryan boost with young slinging Sammy?
I'm going to tell you what, even if he turns it over 5-6 times, they'll still be in a better position than they were with Matthew,
who was
Melty Ice Cream.
Was given 2.5 giveaways a game by himself like clockwork, which is.
And we also got to think about who Sam Ellinger has been able to work with, and he's been able to work with these young receivers.
Yeah, we'll see.
He's also a runner. He's athletic.
That offensive line kind of sucks.
Yeah, but they still got players on there.
Yeah, we'll see if Leonard and Buckner play. That's a whole different story. They have both been out, which makes their defense not very good. And I'm telling you, you're going to see the continued Heineke push. That team loves that guy. He wins football games. They're not.
Listen, he's a brand unto himself. Like, give this guy a shot.
And I think Chase Young is slated to come back soon, which will be a huge boost for that defense.
Where's this guy?
Foot injuries or something stupid like that. San Francisco at the Rams. This is a tough game to call because San Francisco is just not as good as you think they should be, which is classic Shanahan. And the Rams just don't have enough weapons on offense.
Let me make it really simple. Shanahan beats McVay in the regular season.
Every time. Easy. You're right.
Said.
Enough said. Giants at Seattle. Game of the week. Who would have thought it? In week 8, we'd be saying...
Insane. Geno, who snatches away Eli Manning's starting streak. Daniel Jones. Resurgent. Ascendant. A re-energized Saquon Barkley.
Kenneth Walker III.
Kenneth Walker III, the rookie running back who could now emerge as the new offensive rookie of the year. A renewed energy on the Seattle defense with dare I say, a new Legion of Boom.
If DK is playing and actually playing and not just going through the motions, I might have to go with Seattle because it's in Seattle and it's tough to win there. If DK's not playing, I'm going to go with the G-Men. Even with a team that's 6-1 or whatever and is going to have a really good season, you are going to lose a couple games, and this is a game that is losable for basically anybody.
Easily.
Anybody in the NFL, the way Seattle's playing going into Seattle right now, you're probably not going to win that football game. So, no, as long as they compete and perform well, good sign.
They will compete.
But going to be a tough game to call. DK with that knee injury that really changed Seattle.
Yeah, he took a cart ride for an injury reason this time.
Yeah. Tell him I'm in the bathroom boo-booing.
Man.
Green Bay at Buffalo. This
is serious.
Okay.
I had to go bust a bus on this one.
So one of two things.
Griselda, let me tell you something. Griselda's going to be in the building. Green Bay better be thankful that they get on the bus in one piece. This is not even going to be fucking close.
Okay, so one of two things is going to happen. Buffalo's going to win by 40. Realistically, they're going to win by 20-something, maybe 30. Or this bizarro world that is modern-day NFL happens, and somehow Green Bay wins this fucking football game.
The ayahuasca gods say, Aaron, this is what we have prepared you for. Go into Buffalo and take all of their wings and fly, 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 fly.
We all dropped Dobbs from all fantasy aspects because he has 3 touchdowns in this game. And
Watch, he's gonna have the precious. He's gonna have the precious game.
Jair Alexander's kind of minimizes what Diggs does, and then Gabe Davis injures his foot or something and is out for the game, and it changes everything for Buffalo.
Rashawn Gary knees, knocks in the nuts, and yeah.
This is the NFL. This could happen.
Sure.
It's not going to. It's not going to though. Buffalo is loaded. They're coming off the bye week. It's at home.
Remind me of Buffalo's coach's name. What's his name again?
Dable. No. He left.
The tough guy with the wife, and she's very important.
Oh man, I smoked
I know we forgot. I know we both forgot.
Yeah, because
someone asked me about the coach's name, and I was like, I would normally know. Sean McDermott.
McDermott,
right?
yeah, McDermott.
No Alzheimer's today, bitch. Here we go.
McDermott. All right.
It took me a couple days.
Monday Night Football, Battle of Ohio, Cincinnati at Cleveland. Teams doing this. Cincinnati, Joe Burrow is absolutely on fire right now.
Okay, let me tell you something. In Cleveland, they are on Watson Watch. Let me tell you. They've been on Watson Watch, but now that it's been like...
Kerry, ever since they put that...
They're on Watson Watch so hard right now.
Ever since they put that elf on the field, they've lost every game.
I don't know how that even is in the same realm as what a Cleveland Brown would be. We talking dogs.
I think they're
I don't know what an elf. It doesn't even make sense.
I think. Well, I don't know.
No, you don't know.
I don't know.
You're right. I don't know. No one knows.
I think they're
It's the Cleveland fucking Browns. You should be dogs. Why is there an elf in the middle of your fucking... It makes no sense.
I think that they should, or possibly they are sacrificing this year's games for next season with Deshaun. And that's what the elf is. It's some sacrificial shit. And they're just going to lose every fucking game because the fact that Jacoby...
Wait a minute. Are we talking about a 1-16 Browns? They want to have that record too?
Why not? And then turn it all around with Deshaun.
Right. And okay, so who would be the number 1 draft pick? I got to think about this college-wise. Because what do they need? I got to think about this. Oh, you know what? I'm going to have an answer next week. If they are in tank mode, like secret tank mode, they just paid a quarterback the most a quarterback has ever been paid, guaranteed money, and then they know that they're not going to have him, trot out briskets, hope he does okay, but anticipate that he's not going to.
What if they...
By the time you get Watson back, it's already out of it, so you just want to see him get some work in, but you're not really expecting to win games. Then you get a top 5 pick. Now I got to think of who they would be targeting.
I don't think they target one person. I think they target the ability...
Receiver, tight end.
I think the ability to have a top 3 pick possibly and trade that back for somebody who wants one of those 2 quarterbacks and is willing to jump up and get a Dallas Cowboys type haul and then overturn that entire team with now Deshaun Watson as the face, get a couple receivers and plug in all the holes. It could work. It could work.
There we go.
Cincinnati is balling though. They got Chase. Well, they got to get rid of the elf. They got to get rid of the elf.
They got to.
Bye week, Kansas City and the Chargers on the bye, which means, fantasy football teams are going to have backups galore in, which I already went through both of my leagues, the heavy backup days. I already had 4 players out in each one that were all on the bye because Philly was out. I have A.J. Brown, the Eagles defense, and Jalen Hurts in my NFL one. That's 3 players right there out, and then Pierce was out in the same week, so that was another my highest scorer in that league out. And then the 3-3-3 whenever the Bengals were already, I think they already went on the bye. No, they haven't yet. Whenever the Bengals go on the bye, I'm going to have some issues. I don't even have another quarterback on my roster.
By week 9.
Yeah, dude, I don't even have another quarterback on my roster right now.
Well, that's on you. You didn't plan this out.
No, I don't care because I knew Burrow was going to ball out this year, and I'm only going to have to put him on the bench for 1 week, so I can just grab.
That is a stratagem.
I can just grab Sam Ellinger if he balls out all of a sudden out of nowhere. I can get Bailey Zappi for 1 game. It's just a 1-game scenario where he's out.
You're right.
And I am 6-1, a couple games out in front of everyone right now. So
I see the flex.
So
you know what's funny? I remember a Giants season, right? They started out 6-1. Let me tell you about this Giants team. They finished the season 6-10.
Okay, so here's
all I'm saying is like, hey, I congratulate your hot ass start. That's dope. I'm just saying, beware.
So here's what's funny.
People coming for you.
So you can go and look at like projections for the rest of the season each week to see where everyone's going to.
Sure, you can.
And I just went and looked, and it has me finishing up. I'm in first place, 6-1. It has me finishing 8-8. What the fuck?
You know what? Them's just prognostications.
Like, are you serious?
I know.
There's no way in the world I'm dropping the rest of the season unless Joe Burrow gets hurt, and then that's it. That's it.
Things are possible. I don't know.
Nah, see, in my NFL one, I already planned for that because I have Hurts and Burrow.
Well, that's dope.
So.
You know every spot that I could get Hurts, I got him. Because I told you this guy was going to be monstrous this year, and he has not let me down. And everyone who grabbed Lamar Jackson early, congratulations. But let me tell you a little something about Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson always starts hot, but then it gets the middle, near the end of the season, he goes like this. Every single year, even in his MVP year, even though the dip was a little less normally, the beginning, always.
Well, I also.
But in the end, so I was like, yeah, grab him.
I also.
It's like you gotta grab the one who's gonna be the most fucking consistent.
Well, no, I went with 2 quarterbacks in that one, considering I had the 12th pick. So.
You were smart. You got 2 dope ones. You have 2 dope ones who are gonna play games that matter late into the season.
Well, also I also could plan ahead for the quarterback might not Burrow starting slow, and then on games where I might think that Jalen Hurts might not put up huge numbers and Burrow will. That's easy to slide him in.
This is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's smart. I always love to have 2 top tier quarterbacks that I view as top tier, not like, oh, I got a stud quarterback and I have just a bye quarterback. No, I like to have competition because I'm looking at matchups, I'm looking at bye weeks, and I'm looking at matchups because some matchups I'm gonna sit Aaron Rodgers. For years I had Aaron Rodgers and Matthew Icequeen, and let me tell you something, this is the height of Matthew's powers, and at the height of, as we've seen, Aaron's powers, and I would just switch off. There would be years, obviously in Aaron's MVP years, where he would get more weeks, but there'd be weeks I'm like, I need to sit Aaron for Matt, and Matt would ball because he's always great against other mediocre quarterbacks.
Yeah, 100%. So this week I have a quandary because Burrow is surging and he's going up against Cleveland, and then Hurts is playing the Steelers. So.
Okay, so you got Hurts against the Steelers versus
Burrow against the Browns. Burrow's going to have.
I go Hurts against the Steelers. You know why? Because Browns Steelers is divisional shit. So those games is always different. Those games are always different. Whereas Jalen against this you telling me there's no TJ Watt, you got a diminished Minka Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, but this is how I look at this one. There's a distinct possibility that Eagles defense gets multiple turnovers, they get multiple short fields, and those running backs this is a game where the running backs score mad touchdowns and they don't need Jalen to do anything. to where Burrow is going to need to put up 400 yards because that's what they do. So that's how I'm kind of looking at it. We shall see, homie.
That's also mad valid.
Yeah, it's funny because in one league where I have one quarterback and we're riding the hot hand, I'm 6-1. And the other one where I went with two stud quarterbacks and a whole different approach to everything, the whole league is 4-3. So, isn't that something?
So, like, next season, obviously I'm not going to give away my new draft strategy, but I've never mocked before. But I'm for this new strategy I'm bringing out, and obviously because you're doing it now, I cannot reveal. And I know you like to get me to, but I won't do it. I'm going to mock some shit out, and I think if it works out, my new strategy is going to be
this is
legit.
how I knew Pierce would be available late.
I wanted him so bad.
You know, so it was.
I talk too much.
I knew it, so it was like I also did some mocks, so I knew I was going to be able to grab him like 5th or 6th round, so I could get some like a couple stud skilled positions in a row instead of scrambling for a running back. Because in both leagues that I'm in, last picks, so I wasn't getting. Except ours, I got the top pick, and I consider that the last pick because you have to take Jonathan Taylor, who's been the biggest bust ever. But I turned it into Aaron Jones and Michael Pittman. And we will see you guys next week. I'm going to go hang out with the Wolf, homie. Yeah, we're surging.
See the Wolf.
We're surging, but you guys are still behind me. And looks like a three-peat is heading this way, everybody.
Yeah. We got to knock that down.
Hey.
So let's get to it, y'all. If it ain't going to be me, it got to be one of y'all.
It's going to be a 3-3-3-peat, y'all. I'll see you later, homie. All right, everybody. I'm going to go hang out with the Wolf. I got other things to do. And it is hot as Vegas. Thanks, homie. It's hot as sitting in here. I'm out.